We are Blackmore. We are Minnesota.
It's the chance to gain some ground in the American League Central. A week of division matchups starts tonight for the Twins as they open up a 3-game series against the Detroit Tigers inside Comerica Park. Welcome to the Motor City, everyone. I'm Audra Martin. Not one to ever guarantee momentum carrying over from one game to the next. Paul Molitor admits it did feel pretty good to see his team turn the longest homestand of the season into a winning homestand on Sunday. But if there is ever momentum to carry over, now is the time to capitalize on it for the Twins, who open up a road trip that's all going to be against those American League opponents. Here's a few things to keep in mind for this 3-game series. The magic number for the Twins lately is 4. They've won 6 straight games when scoring 4 or more runs, outscoring their opponents 39-19 in that stretch. Eduardo Escobar leads the league in doubles, but team-wise, that distinction goes to Detroit. Their 148 doubles are tied for the most, along with the Boston Red Sox. But the good news, the Twins held them to just 4 doubles in the 3-game series last month. And there is something about Comerica Park that brings out the best in the Twins offense. They averaged 8 runs a game in the 10 trips to Detroit last season, and will look to keep that trend going tonight here in Game 1. It won't be a problem if Eduardo Escobar has any say in the matter. He's been on a tear lately for the Twins and now has top honors to show for it. Dick Kramer and Jack Morris have more on the American League Player of the Week coming up next.
To the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. The Twins have two teams ahead of them in the American League Central, and they'll face them both on this road trip tonight from Comerica Park, the first of three, against the second-place Detroit Tigers. Twins have had problems against left-handed starters. They're hoping that their second look at Blaine Hardy over the last 3 weeks will be beneficial. Jake Odorizzi has had good numbers in his career against the Tigers. He'll make the start for the Twins. And we welcome you to Comerica Park. Dick Bramer joined on this road trip, and for the next couple of weeks, Detroit Tiger Hall of Famer Jack Morris is with us here in the broadcast booth. Eduardo Escobar has had a breakout season. Seems no matter where the Twins have played him on the field, he's done well, and wherever they have hit him in the lineup, he's performed well, and that includes the cleanup spot.
You know, Dick, every day it seems like when the press interview Eduardo after a game, he will say something like, you know, I just go out and try to play the game hard, do it right, be prepared, and help the team win. I'm starting to believe he really means that, because it doesn't matter to him where in the lineup he's hitting. He seems to thrive no matter what, because he simplifies the game. He just goes out and tries to hit the ball hard. It doesn't matter where Paul Molitor puts him in the field, because he focuses on his role and what he needs to do, what ground he needs to cover, and make accurate throws. So this guy is really a delight to be around. Twins are blessed to have him on their team this year.
100 games left in the regular season. Every game, every series is important, and that includes this series opener tonight with the Detroit Tigers. Down the right field line, fair. He's going to be waved around. Adrianza ends up at third base. This is back and gone. Jake Cave to the deepest part of the ballpark. Eduardo Escobar has always felt like he was an everyday player, and he has become that for the Twins for a variety of reasons. You've got the shortstop Jorge Polanco, who's suspended. Miguel Sano's been hurt. But it's really impressive what he's done, given the fact that he doesn't know from one game to the next where on the field that he's playing, and he continues to produce offensively. And Paul Molitor, of course, hoping that that will continue. With 100 games left, Twins have had a disappointing first 62, but we saw this team catch fire in early August last year and do very well for 2 months. Now they hope to do it very well for 3.5 months. Here's the Menards batting order. Brian Dozier leading off, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, Mitch Garver, Logan Morrison, A-Ray Adrianza, and Ryan Lamar.
And tonight's starting pitcher stats brought to you by Home Furniture. Blaine Hardy is on the mound. He's making his 6th start of the season. You see his numbers for 2018. Pitched quite well, I think. Twins have had trouble with left-handers, so let's see if we can figure him out tonight and get maybe some early run support for Jake Odorizzi.
Biggest issue for the Twins lineup against lefties, oddly, has been the right-handed batters. Brian Dozier just absolutely destroyed left-handed pitching last year, and he's really struggling. He's only hitting .208 against left-handers. Miguel Sano only .152. Mitch Garver .171. Ryan Lamar .217. It's hard to figure. And it's 1-1.
Yeah, when the ball's coming in on a right-hander, the way Blaine Hardy's going to throw his breaking ball, those are the wheelhouse pitches for guys like Dozier and Sano.
Bouncer left side. Candelario has it over to first. Cabrera's there to make the catch and the first out. Let's check out the Tigers in the field. Some different players out there from when the Tigers were in Minnesota 3 weeks ago. They've had some players come back from injury. Jacoby Jones in left, Leonis Martin in center, Nicholas Castellanos is in right. Jamer Candelario at third base, Iglesias Machado up the middle. Cabrera, who's hurt in Minnesota, he's back on the active roster, and John Hicks, who spent about 3 weeks in the Twins organization, will do the catching. One down, and now Eddie Rosario. And down and away, ball one. Rosario's hitting .304 against lefties. Max Kepler's hitting .302. They are the top 2 left-handed batters in the league against left-handed pitching. Now this one come back to the mound, and Hardy makes the play. Rosario retired, 2 away.
Well, 2 quick outs for Blaine Hardy, and it's both been on off-speed pitches. Dozier had a first pitch slider that was right in his wheelhouse. He took it, then one off the plate. Third one, a little off speed, down and away, and he kind of turned it over. Same thing right there for Rosario. A little slider down and away, and he was able to get him out front.
When Hardy pitched against the Twins on May 21st, he got a lot of fly ball outs, and in fact had 4 shutout innings until the Twins puts together some things in the 5th inning and eventually scored a couple of runs. Twins won the ball game 4-2. And a strike 1-1 to Escobar. But he did not get a ground ball out the entire time he was on the mound against the Twins on May 21st. And now he gets a couple of them right away.
Well, Blaine Hardy is not typically a starting pitcher. He's worked primarily out of the bullpen. He's got 90 career outings here at Comerica Park and only 3 starts. Pretty good record, though, 8-1.
Strike, and it's 2-2. Moved into the rotation because another lefty, Francisco Liriano's been on the disabled list. Jordan Zimmerman's been on the disabled list as well. So they've had to improvise, and he's done a really good job moving out of the bullpen. Bouncer left side. Okay. Same pitcher, just completely different results. The Twins hit a lot of pop-ups against Hardy in Minnesota, and in the first inning at least, they hit 3 ground balls. in a cap other than a Twins cap is odd. He's done a fantastic job with this group that wasn't expected to do much. And no, they're not playing 500 baseball, but they played a lot better baseball than a lot of people thought. And here's the Menards batting order with Martin leading off, Castellanos second, Cabrera, Candelario, Martinez, Hicks, Jones, Iglesias, and Machado.
And again tonight, starting pitcher stats brought to you by Home Furniture. Jake Odorizzi making his 14th start of the season, 3-3. And for Jake Odorizzi, I think the key to him is pitch count. Here's a guy that loves to pitch up in the zone with his fastball, gets a lot of swing and misses up there, but he also has a lot of 3-2 counts, and we need to get him to make quicker outs early in the game so he can go deeper in the game.
For whatever reason, he's had great success against the Tigers. This through a time when the Tigers were pretty good. 2-1, a 2.28 ERA. Here's a ball blasted to center field. Going back is Lamar. Still going back, boy. Welcome to Comerica Park, Ryan Lamar.
Well, it's not quite like Tiger Stadium where it was 440 out there.
420, still a pretty good poke.
Yeah.
And Martin hit it about 410. One little look to see how close, or maybe more appropriately, how far away the wall still was.
And I think eventually caught some thick air out there. We're maybe going to get some showers here tonight. It's overcast and beautiful night for a game.
One down, and here's Castellanos. Castellanos was swinging the bat well in Minnesota 3 weeks ago. He's continued to do that, as his .321 average would attest.
Another thing we need to watch as this game progresses for Jake is the fact that he's allowed a .462 average for hitters on the first pitch. A lot of guys are going after that first pitch, and he's throwing it over to try to get ahead. And if he can get 2 strikes on a batter, some for you young kids that want to be pitchers, with 2 strikes, they're only hitting 176 off of him. So all importance of getting ahead in the count, and then you can get hitters to chase out of the zone.
Fell behind Castellanos 2-0 and gave him a fastball and got a foul back. 2-1. Not just Ron Gardenhire. You saw in the background Joe Vavra, Steve Little, Rick Anderson, all part of the coaching staff here in Detroit. 3-1 to Castellanos with Cabrera on deck.
I was asked to come to Detroit here in the middle of the winter to speak in front of a lot of their corporate sponsors. They threw them a dinner, and they introduced the coaching staff and the entire team, and to see Gardy and all the guys. You mentioned it earlier, and I started laughing, and I said, there's something totally wrong with this picture.
Well, they're all doing well here, and there were a lot of hugs on the field as both teams were out taking early batting practice. Nico Goodrum, of course, came through the Twins system. He's become an important player for the Tigers. And now a 3-2 walk to Castellanos puts him aboard and brings Cabrera to the plate with a man aboard. Check out the Twins in the field. Seen Ryan Lamar in center. He's got Eddie Rosario to his right, Max Kepler to his left, Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, and Morris in the infielders. Sano's the designated hitter, and Mitch Garver behind the plate. And Mike Malinsky is the home plate umpire. Tim Timmons at first, Rob Drake at second, Mike Winters at third. Here's Cabrera, was out with a hamstring injury when the Tigers were in Minnesota. He's come back, hitting over 300. Not a whole lot of power, at least not yet. Up and in, strike one.
Well,
ball one.
I think Jake is flirting a little bit with disaster. This is not the scenario you want. You walk the guy in front of Miguel Cabrera. I talked to Lloyd McClendon about Cabrera while he was on the DL. He said he hardly took any batting practice in his second at bat after coming back off the DL. Home run. That's just talent. I mean, that's just insane ability, and he's got some of the best hands the game's ever seen.
And now Odorizzi falls behind him 2-0.
But you brought up a great point, Dick. We were talking here before the game about Eddie Rosario and how he goes to the baseball and drives it. Doesn't really care where it is. Sometimes it's out of the zone. Doesn't care. Well, Miguel Cabrera has always been that kind of guy too. He doesn't necessarily try to pull a ball that's away or shoot a ball that's in to the right side. He just goes with the pitch and tries to drive the baseball.
told the story about during the homestand, Miguel Sano working off the tee and hitting one, you know, almost to the top row of the seats in right center field in the second deck. 2-1 to Cabrera. And there's the outside corner, 2-2. And then, you know, the comp is Cabrera, who was a third baseman and became a first baseman. Some think Sano will end up over there. But then you think of Cabrera, and I can't think the last time I saw him pull an extra base hit. My forever image of him will be left center, center, through right field. He's so incredibly strong.
Yeah, but if you try to back up 2 fastballs on the inner half, he will show you to get the barrel out. And I've seen him many, many times working here in Detroit, calling the games for the Tigers over the first few years. He's got a little argument with home plate umpire right there, but, you know, I think it's a friendly discussion.
It's 3-2.
I always thought if I was pitching against Miggy, I would have to pound him in. And then, you know, in the last couple of years, it seems like his bat has slowed down a little bit. I'd challenge him more with fastballs.
Castellanos taking off. Cabrera, even though he's spent a good chunk of the season on the disabled list, has bounced into 6 double plays. So we would expect Castellanos to take off again.
Yeah, and that's one thing Gardy's very aware of with Miggy. He's not just like Victor Martinez. Those two guys don't run well at all. Obviously, Miguel Cabrera runs a little bit better than Victor. But he's always going to think about getting that runner in action when the count's favorable to try to avoid that double play.
3-2 to Cabrera.
There he goes.
Castellanos goes, and there is ball 4. So a pair of walks by Odorizzi, putting some traffic on the bases with 1 out. And now tonight's Pizza Ranch for the win. See what you think the Twins have to do to pick up a win here tonight.
Well, for Jake Odorizzi, he's got to set the tempo, and he's already doing something I hoped he wouldn't, and that is, you know, pitch count's already at 15. That's where you want to be when you walk off the mound after 3 outs, and he's only got 1 with 2 base runners. 2 walks already here in the first inning. He's got to set the tempo, and then he's got to be efficient with his pitches. I've said it about Kyle Gibson, and I've said it about Jake Odorizzi. Both these guys seem to get 3-2 counts too often, and somehow they've got to generate outs on 2 or 3 pitches several times early in the ballgame.
Candelario the batter, and he takes up high, and Odorizzi's falling behind everybody here. Now 16 pitches and only 6 strikes. The only ball put in play was hit about 410 feet from home plate. And a first inning trip to the mound from Garver. And not only has Odorizzi fallen behind everybody 1-0, he's fallen behind everybody 2-0.
Well, it's a good trip right here for Mitch to go out and try to settle him down a little bit. A lot of times it's best to hear from your catcher. You don't necessarily want your pitching coach out there early in the ball game. For me, it was always embarrassing. He came out in the first inning, it's like, oh boy, this is going to be a long night. But the catcher's different, you know. He's the guy trying to help you through it. Just needs a breather. Keep the ball down. He's been up in the zone a little too much here.
2-0. And a foul, 2-1.
You saw where Mitch Garver was holding his glove there, right on the knees, inside corner, and the ball was up about letter high inside corner. So he's still missing up right now. Here's that last pitch. See where Mitch is set up. Nice, good target down around the knees, and the pitch right up in the wheelhouse. I watch that a lot as a fan, even when I'm not broadcasting. Where is the catcher's glove compared to where the ball is actually thrown to?
Foul back, and it's 2-2.
You know, one of the things I always said about when I pitched, and I think it's true to this day, every pitcher, even on your good days, is going to make a half a dozen pitches that are mistake pitches out over the plate in the hitting zone of the hitter. And it's what those hitters do with those mistake pitches that can determine the outcome of your day.
2-2 to Candelario. And another foul.
Another pitch, pretty much center cut right there. But the good news is you've got 2 strikes now. Let's see if that 153 batting average shows up, 176 batting average for 2 strikes.
Popped up and retreating is Escobar, and it's Escobar with the catch. Infield fly rule was called.
Yeah,
that's the second out.
Took a little off there, threw an off-speed pitch, kind of sinking changeup down and away, and you could see that.
Oh, that looks like a Jack Morris special there. A little split finger changeup.
Yeah, it was a good location, and the fact that he changed speeds gets that hitter out in front. Not a lot they can do. Their hips are gone. It's all hands at that point.
And this guy's had a pretty good pair of hands, Victor Martinez. He is hitting just .244. And in the last year of his deal with the Tigers. But it sure seems like, against the Twins anyway, he's been one of the top run producers in situations like this. 2 on and 2 out. Bouncer towards second. Dozier go into a crouch and throw him out. Couple of walks eventually do no damage, and we've got a scoreless first inning. Combination. Twins, frankly, need to do better both at home and on the road. Just a .500 record at home. And they've had some very disappointing road trips as well, including the most recent one to Seattle and Kansas City, winning just 1 ball game. Here's Miguel Sano taking strike 1. Sano, as we said, hitting just .152 against lefties. And he takes strike 1 and strike 2 after hitting .297 against them last year. Just over 100 at bats, 7 homers, 19 runs batted in. And now Hardy has him behind 0-2. Dropped down in the order late in the homestand, and now he's worked his way back up to the cleanup spot, 1 spot at a time. Outside, 1-2.
It's just been a puzzle for a lot of people when the subject of Miguel Sano comes up. And, you know, again, we go back to Dozier and Escobar, and you're on the bench and you're watching your teammates, and what are they doing right? I mean, those are the things that young players have to pay attention to. It's not always about what I'm doing wrong. It's like, how are these guys doing so well? And if you're paying attention, you're seeing that they're staying in with their shoulder, with their head. They're driving the ball wherever it's pitched instead of trying to lift and separate on every pitch or you know, think one side, pull happy, whatever it is.
Well, he's taken 5 pitches. It's a full count. Kepler on deck.
He should have a good look by now.
Strike 3 on a check swing. I don't know whether Mike Malinsky called the pitch or the half swing, and Sano strikes out for the first out of the second inning.
I think it was on location. You see it's a slider, and it's a pretty darn good spot right there. No, didn't really even swing at all.
Here is Kepler. Kepler hitting over 300 against lefties. He's hit well in this ballpark, 347. And it's about time for Max to have a good series or a good week. The average kind of trickled down to 237. 2 strikes, and while Odorizzi was falling behind everybody in his first inning, Hardy's gotten ahead of everybody.
Yeah, he's had a clean first inning and a quick out here in the top of the second. Challenging hitters, getting ahead, going after him. Good breaking ball so far for Blaine Hardy.
0-2 to Kepler. And a called third strike to Kepler.
Again, you watch that catcher's glove, and Blaine Hardy doing a pretty good job of getting close. Another slider there up in the zone, but it's in that box in the strike zone.
Here is Garver, and he's hitting just 171 against lefties. Twins last year poured it on in the last 7 weeks of the season and scored 815 runs. Well, back, they're on a pace right now to score only 692. That's a pretty sharp drop.
Got to be a pretty good pitching staff to win a lot of games with that. It's so important, and I equate it even more so to early runs, to take the pressure off these young pitchers and give them a little confidence, knowing that they don't have to be perfect with every pitch. They're going to be more aggressive, I think, not making, and by being that way, you make less mistakes sometimes.
Another off-speed pitch that bends over for strike 2.
2 young pitchers right there with tremendous potential. Murillo's starting to emerge as the ace of this staff. Romero with an incredible arm and movement.
High chopper over the mound. Iglesias charges and throws out Garver, and it's another clean, quick 1-2-3 inning for Blaine Hardy.
The Twins announced they DFA'd Gregorio Petit today in order to make room for the reacquisition of Matt Belisle. Paul Molitor says despite the fact his numbers were not that great so far this season with Cleveland, he does still have the same impressive stuff that was such a big key factor in this team's success last year. Mix that with his leadership in the clubhouse, and the Twins are very excited to have him back in the bullpen. Byron Buxton continues to make progress, saying his toe right now is just more soreness as opposed to the sharp pain he felt last last time he was rehabbing. He is on this road trip because the Twins feel it's important to be able to monitor that process firsthand. But Molitor says it is unlikely he will return to the lineup this week. And no one was more excited for Eduardo Escobar's Player of the Week honors than Brian Dozier. He says for a guy that puts his heart and soul into every game, no matter where he's hitting, where he's playing, he has such an impact on all aspects of the game, and it is about time he's recognized for it, guys.
Thank you very much, Audra. 2-1 to the batter, John Hicks. Regarding Buxton, Paul Molitor said he'll have to go. Almost certainly will go on a rehab assignment. And now it's 3-1 to Hicks, leadoff man here in the home half of the second. Hicks, Jones, and Iglesias here in the second. Odorizzi pitched around a couple of first-inning walks. Doesn't want to do that again here in the second, but there goes Hicks to first base. Third walk in the first 6 plate appearances from Odorizzi.
Yeah, and it's that dreaded leadoff man, too.
There's Garvin Olson. Hicks is at first, and now Jacoby Jones. On the good news side of the health issue regarding Joe Mauer on a rehab assignment with Rochester in Scranton. And they had a doubleheader today. A 7-inning, 2 7-inning games. That's how they do it in the minor leagues. Mauer went 0 for 3 in the first game as a designated hitter. There's a pop-up near first, and Morrison looks to have plenty of room. 1 down, and Joe talked himself into the lineup for the second game. The plan was that he would play 7 innings as DH, play first base tomorrow for 9 innings, the hope was, and then if he passed those tests, we would see him no later than when we get to Progressive Field in Cleveland Friday.
Yeah, I was talking to Paul a week ago about Joe, and he said, you know, it's one thing, and he's progressing every day. This was a week ago now, so, you know, we're making progress. But he said it's one thing to come to the ballpark and have a workout, and that workout lasts maybe an hour plus, depending on ground balls or batting practice, and then playing a complete game. So good news that Joe got through a complete game and wanted to play the second game.
And in talking with Joe, I mean, some of the symptoms that he's been dealing with, the din of the ballpark, the noise, the lights, and all of that. And until you go through that in the minor leagues, there's, you know, you've got to pass that test under these circumstances. Check of the runner Hicks at first base.
Well, meanwhile, back here at Comerica, good to see Jacoby Jones popping up on the first pitch. That pitch count already approaching 30 pitches, and Odorizzi's got to be more efficient. And sometimes it helps to have a hitter be aggressive and swing out of the zone and make an out.
'30th pitch for Odorizzi. This one hit to right, playable it looks like for Kepler. And a foul ball catch, out number 2. And that'll bring up the number 9 batter, Dixon Machado.
They had Kepler positioned pretty well out there in right field, shaded towards the right field line. And Iglesias went after a pitch up and away, and right on the line, Kepler had plenty of time to get over there.
Machado playing at second base, of course. For years here, it was Ian Kinsler playing second base. Twins just saw him in the Angels series over the weekend. Another high fastball for ball 1.
Yeah, Kinsler for so many years, big part of the Texas Rangers, and then really the heart and soul of this team for a while, I think. Underrated here in Detroit. Had a real good run here with the Tigers, and now with the Angels.
Fastball in the lower half of the strike zone, 1-1. They're in full rebuilding mode, and sometimes it's hard to watch, but the Tigers have stayed relevant. Far more competitive than anyone thought. They're 5 games below 500, and the Twins are 6. So neither team lighting the world on fire, but there were so few expectations about the Tigers, you'd have to say that they've overachieved so far this year.
You know, maybe I'll wait and see what happens here before I get into an analogy, but J.D. Martinez goes to Boston. He's having a career year, right? I mean, he had some good years here in Detroit, but this is by far his best year. Justin Verlander got some new life as a member of the Houston Astros, finally got his first world championship last year and lighting the world on fire on the mound again. And you wonder why that couldn't have happened with this same team. And they leave, and all of a sudden their numbers go up.
Justin Upton's another one.
Yeah,
Upton. He had some okay years here, but Twins found out firsthand, you know, in the 2 series the Twins had with the Angels, he can still swing the bat.
Well, sometimes people need to wear a different uniform to really rejuvenate their careers, and that gives opportunities for a lot of young guys like Dixon Machado.
2-2 to Machado. And another fly down the right field line. This one looks like it'll twist into the seats. So a new manager has brought new enthusiasm to the Tiger organization.
You know, when I talked to Gardy this winter, and I talked to him when he came to Target Field, and I know Detroit, you know, spending 13 years there, I know what this city is all about, and I knew Gardy would be a good fit. I'm happy for him to have the chance to do what he wants to do, be a manager back in the big leagues. But I've also heard so many good things about the environment here in the clubhouse and what's going on with Gardy, and he knows, you know, he's not a miracle worker. They don't have a superstar team anymore. Miguel Cabrera is still the premier guy on the team, but I know that he's cultivating an environment that is going to be a positive thing as they move forward.
2-2 to Machado. 36th pitch of the night for Jake Odorizzi. No hits for the Tigers, but Odorizzi's issued 3 walks. An excuse me roller.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Jake bury a breaking ball down yet. He's thrown a lot that have been hangers, a bunch of fastballs up, couple good change-ups and a splitter there. But that good big curveball that he buries down below the knees would really be a good put-away pitch here. Slider, fastball away.
And another foul. And this will be the 40th pitch.
And again, I don't know if this is by design. I don't know enough about Jake to know if he wants a low target and still goes up in the zone with a fastball, but he's missing by 3 feet there, and it was still a strike. Change-up, that four-finger signal is a change-up.
Runner goes, and the pitch beaten foul between Dave Clark on the line.
It's always amazed me how you can get 2 quick strikes, and that third pitch is so hard to get. You know.
Well, you got more than your share.
Well, I was pretty lucky. It's the 11th pitch of this at bat coming up.
And Odorizzi has been right on par. 1 strike per inning pitched. Hasn't gotten one yet here tonight. Doesn't need to strike Machado out. He just needs to get him out.
Yeah, he's finally going to the curveball.
And it is beaten foul.
Yeah, but it was, again, it started too high. It was about thigh high where it was going to be caught. Let's take another look at it. See how it starts way up and it stays right in the middle of the plate. Had he started it at about the belt and buried it down by the knees, I think Machado would have had a swing and miss right there.
So Odorizzi appears to be out of sync. Here comes another 2-2 to the number 9 batter. And it's looped to right, a base hit. Hicks will check in, and now Martin will hit with 2 men aboard. A long at bat. And Machado ends up flaring one to right for the first Tiger hit.
Those are the kind of at bats that really kill you as a pitcher. You get to 2 strikes, and it's going to be 3-2, and a guy has a 12 pitch at bat, and you make a mistake out over the middle, and he does what he's supposed to do. He battles like you're battling and puts the ball in play, and he finds a hole out there in right field, and you just wasted 12 bullets.
And Martin will bat. Odorizzi fell behind him and ended up getting him on a deep, and I mean deep, fly ball to center field. Tigers left 2 on in the first. Now Odorizzi trying to leave these 2 runners on base in the second. Ball 1. And Odorizzi's really out of whack here tonight so far. How often when you had a start like this were you able to find something and then tighten your control up and get into the middle end?
Good question, and I would like to, if Bert was here, I'd ask him the same question, because every pitcher is different. But when I had a trouble locating my fastball, I might go to the breaking ball for a while, stay with the pitch that I can command, and then as your timing and your adrenaline, all that kind of settle in, and usually that takes about 3 innings, you might relocate that fastball again. You can't give up on it, but you also can't get so far behind that you put yourself in a jam. You got to go to a pitch that you can get over.
1-1 to Martin.
This is where you got to throw the book away. You might have a scouting report on a guy, but you can't throw the pitch you want to throw, and that's called navigating a game.
On the ground, sharply backhanded by Dozier. And Odorizzi wobbles his way through the second. No score, heading to the third. Prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $525,000 have been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. In addition, the Twins will donate $10,000 for each home run hit by a Twins hitter and $1,000 for each strikeout recorded by a Twins pitcher June 12th to the 17th. Logan Morrison will try to hit a home run. He'll lead off the third. Dick Bramer along with Jack Morris. And how lucky am I, because I'm in Detroit with Jack Morris in the year where he's going into the Hall of Fame as a Tiger. Next time we come in here, they're going to retire his number. I mean, I shouldn't have to pay for anything here because I'm with Jack Morris.
Have you ever since you were with me? I mean.
One strike to Logan Morrison. First thing I did when I found out the Tigers were going to retire your number and they issued the date, and I said, please let it be when the Twins are here in Detroit, and the Tigers are smart enough to do that. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. You've got a couple of tough speeches to make, young man.
Yeah, and I think there's between the Twins and the Tiger players are probably going to get sick and tired of me. But it's an honor. It truly is an honor, and I'll do my best to represent both cities.
A few years and a few pounds ago, but there he is, Jack Morris.
You got to bring up the pounds. And it's true. I got to wear it.
I think we all do, actually. 1 and 2 to Morrison, who he followed by Adrianza and Lamar, and he takes up high.
Now Morrison got a home run in his last game against the Angels, and that home run challenge is a great cause, and let's hope the Twins can do their part to raise some money for that.
We'll have 3 here in Detroit, then 3 in Cleveland. The Twins have done pretty well in the home run department in those 2 ballparks. This one tapped weakly to first, came up a little bit on Cabrera, but an awkward play at first, and both players get up. Wow. Cabrera kind of jogged to first, and Morrison, to his credit, hustled down the line, nearly beat it out.
Yeah, I think what happened is he did not want to step on Cabrera's ankle if he was covering the bag with his whole foot, because you don't typically want to slide. He did look like he was going into a slide there. Watch him, or he's just lunging towards the bag, and that's a good way to get hurt right there. They always teach you to run through the bag. That just looked awful.
Well, both a pretty big man, Morrison and Cabrera. That would have been a frightful collision. Here is Adrianza, and he takes strike 1. As dull, if you will, that Odorizzi's been in terms of command, Hardy's been right there.
I was just going to say that Hardy is really in command. He's not giving anybody anything in the heart of the plate. Changing speed's great, and there's a changeup right there, outer half. He's really navigating this Twins lineup and doing a great job with his pitch selection.
Well, we mentioned before the Twins really poured it on at the end of the season, the last 50 games or so, to get the run total over 800. The real acid test is, where are the Twins after 62 games this year? Where were they last year after 62 games? Last year after 62 games they'd scored 299 runs, and so far they've scored just 265. Tapped up the line, and that's going to be a base hit. It went 60 feet, but it worked. So 1-out single for Adrianza.
Yeah, the Twins' first hit of the night, and it wasn't a thing of beauty, but it's where hit them where they ain't, right? Take another look at it. Basically a swinging bunt off the end of the bat, but goes down in a perfect location.
And that'll bring up Ryan Lamar. Lamar hoping to do from the right side of the plate what Jake Cave did Sunday. 3 hits, including a 2-run home run. And Lamar getting the at-bats against lefties, given the roster construction. Another first pitch strike.
It's got to be exciting for Ryan to come back home. He's from the Royal Oak area here, not too far from where the Twins stay out in Birmingham, Michigan.
Talked to him before batting practice. They had a chance to see and visit his grandparents for the first time in a while. 1 strike to Lamar. Until Byron Buxton gets back, it looks as if the Twins might have a platoon in center field. Cave, the left-handed batter, and Lamar, the right-handed batter. Runner goes, and the ball dropped by Hicks in what appeared to be a hit and run, and I don't know, maybe somebody missed a sign. But Adrianza took off, and it looked like he was looking towards home plate the whole while.
Well, the ball was in the dirt. First really bad miscue by Blaine Hardy, a changeup that was in the dirt, and John Hicks just did his part to try to pick it clean and throw out Adrianza.
Stolen base for Adrianza. And now Lamar takes low. Now we've seen 74, we've seen 84, a bunch of pitches in between.
Now he's had that pitch called several times already today, so that's another thing that can frustrate a pitcher, is when you throw the pitch that you've been getting called a strike and it turns into a ball.
80 miles per hour, somewhere in between 74 and 84.
Another good changeup. See how Lamar is way out in front. Get on the board. Find a way to get a hit here.
And off the end of the bat, foul.
Ryan has had some really good at bats with 2 strikes. Seems to find a way to make pretty good contact, stay alive in that batter's box.
Yeah, and Hardy, when he pitched against the Twins at Target Field, had 4 shutout innings. And the Twins strung some things together against him in the 5th. Scored a couple of runs which tied the game, and then the Twins scored late to win the ball game 4-2.
Yeah, Hardy pitched well in that game, and it was because he hadn't been a starter. He you know, pitch count was something of concern for Gardy. And
That kicks away from Hicks, and Adrianza advances. So a couple of pitches in the dirt. And remembering that Adrianza's hit only traveled 60 feet, and suddenly the Twins have a runner at third.
Yeah, 90 feet away right now. Again, Hicks doesn't do a real good job of blocking that ball. I think he peeked up at Adrianza, was thinking about whether he was going to go. And as a catcher, you've got to get those knees down and put those hands out in front and let it block.
Infield in now with the count 3-2 to Lamar, and Dozier on deck. Foul back. Talked with Hicks before the game today, and not that he needs me to defend him, but most of his playing time has been at first base when Cabrera has been out of the lineup, and he's done a nice job there. Known as an offensive player, Ron Gardenhire trying to get his bat in the lineup and putting him behind the plate. Another 3-2 to Lamar, and a ball driven to left on a line to Jacoby Jones, and Adrianza heading home, and he will score. And the Twins get the first run, and a good plate appearance for Ryan Lamar.
Well, that's the way to manufacture a run there. Caught a couple breaks because the pitcher and catcher couldn't get on the same page defensively, but Adrianza gets the third, and then Lamar does his job. Ball up in the zone, and he's able to line it out to left field. Good strong throw from left fielder Jacoby Jones, but a real good jump there from Arhe. Twins will lead by a run.
And now Dozier, 2 down, and the base is empty. See if the Twins have better swings against Hardy the second time, and there's a first pitch ball. Brian Scuffling, and we know that he was a big part of the last 50 game surge in 2017. Strike 1-1. His OPS, on base plus slugging, in the last 2 full years and this year has gone from 886 to 853 to this year 728, which is I'm going to use a 4-syllable word because I'm not working with Bert. Precipitous decline.
Sounds like rain.
1-2. Dozier would like to bring some rain with a home run here. Drifts outside, 2-2.
You know, it's funny with Brian, he's gone through these streaks, and I think consistency is something that we all hope that he somehow brings, and we thought maybe that would be the case. He started out the first week of the season and just had a whale of a start to the year, and then he's gone back to struggling. And you know, it doesn't mean he won't have a tremendous second half. He's had 2 out of what, how many years in a row he's had a great second half. We need a whole season.
2-2 to Dozier. You saw his numbers very similar to what they were a year ago. Down and in, and it's 3-2 with Rosario on deck.
That right there really could be a positive sign. The fact that he didn't swing over the top of that one. That was a tough pitch to lay off because Brian likes the ball down and in.
Popped it up. And foul ground. Hicks spins the mask away, still tracking it, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Nothing hit hard, but the Twins got a run on the top of the third. Rangers Friday, June 22nd. And the first 10,000 fans get a nothing falls but raindrops Buxton bobblehead presented by Pentair. You can go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets to learn more. Nicholas Castellanos, very likely a Tiger All-Star this year, will stand in to lead things off in the third, and we'll see if Odorizzi can start throwing some first pitch strikes. There's a breaking ball, kind of what you suggested during the struggles of the second inning. If you can't get the fastball over for strike one, try something else.
Well, sometimes it'll just teach you to stay back. If you're up with your breaking ball, you know that your arm's dragging. You got to get out front more, and sometimes that can equate to a better fastball location also.
You struck me as someone who was, I don't even know if this is a term, a pitching term. You had a lot of self-maintenance. In other words, if you were out there on the mound, things weren't going right, you were aware enough of your mechanics to self-correct. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Well, I think most guys that get to the big leagues as a pitcher, you know, you've thrown millions of pitches, and you've got to know your arm slot, your release point, all those things. Whether you're a real good mechanically inclined pitcher or you have an unorthodox kind of delivery, you should know your own body. Nobody knows it better than you. Sometimes video can really help you see things that you don't feel, but you know, everybody should have a better understanding of why a ball's up in the zone. I'm obviously rushing. My lower half's going faster than my upper half, and those are the things that, you know, you have to make in-game adjustments, in-pitch adjustments.
Had video over the weekend of Garvin Alston between innings talking with Fernando Romero about his mechanics and flying open in the dugout, and it seemed to do the trick. The results after that little clinic in the dugout were a lot better than the results before.
Well, that's what they're there for. You know, pitching coaches are there to see things that maybe you don't see, and just guide you back into, you know, the zone that you need to be in. Catchers can see that. You know, when you have a catcher that's been working with you a lot, they can be your best friend. They see it probably easier than anybody else because they're looking directly at you.
Popped up down the right field line. A lot of hang time, but a lot of territory to cover. And Morrison staggers and makes a great fair ball catch.
That was not an easy catch to make, the way he caught it. Typically you want to get around that ball or maybe even catch it underhand, but he took a stab at it. Let's watch this as he runs down the line. He's got a long way to go from first base. Statcast probably has the exact distance. Look at the way I wouldn't recommend that, kids.
That was kind of a paintbrush maneuver there. He just kind of swept at the ball, made a nice play.
What he did, a great job of staying with it. You know, he kept his eye on the ball and his hands went to the baseball.
Here's Cabrera. The base is empty and one down. Up and in, ball one. So Morrison showing some range, and on Sunday, this is from the same guy who stood on the infield dirt and had Escobar, the second baseman, run about 100 feet to catch a pop-up right behind him.
He probably called it.
And Morrison probably said, you can have it.
You know, first guy to call it gets it.
1-1 to Cabrera.
This is going to be the 100th pitch of the game already between both starting pitchers.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. And Cabrera loses his bat.
Uh-oh.
And he's walking straight to the dugout. Oh, no.
Something happened there. I don't know if it's a rib. It's his left hand. He's
holding his bicep. Oh, my goodness.
He's hurting.
It's the left arm.
It looks like it might have been a hyperextension of his elbow.
And he left the bat in the batter's box and walked straight to the dugout and then the clubhouse. They just got him back from some hamstring woes, and Gardenhire's pacing. And they're going to have to make a substitution here. One of the game's greats.
Well, I've seen it way too many times. When you see a player literally walk away, you know that it's significant. And I don't want to prejudge anything, but that did not look good. He was obviously hurting when he went back to the dugout.
Tigers have a couple of catchers on the bench, and it might be that they move Hicks to first base and insert a catcher, and it's going to be Nico Goodrum who will replace Cabrera. My goodness. So many key players going down with injury.
Slow-mo, but see how his, oh, you can almost see that elbow. He's grabbing his bicep.
Well, that was what I thought. I still have horrible memories of doing a game in Texas years ago, and Dean Palmer checked his swing, and the tendon attached to the bicep came off the bone, and it was just a horrible thing to see. And Cabrera doubled over in pain as he walks off the field. Well, Nico Goodrum will take over the third spot in the batting order.
And he'll inherit the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Talked to Nico before the game today. He's played 7 different positions. He's done everything but pitch and catch this year. And I asked him about catching, and he said, Gardy's already told me if there's an emergency, you're going to catch. So popular with so many of the younger Twins players, like Mitch Garver, who's chatting him up behind the mask and behind the plate for the Twins. 1-2 to Goodrum. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, goes without saying, we'll say it anyway. As soon as we get any word about what the injury is to Miguel Cabrera, we will pass it along to you. 2 down. And that'll bring up Jeimer Candelario.
So how do you like baseball where you get to have 1 pitch? There it was. I've told you about my theory. Let's go to 1 pitch, right? Put it in play, hit it, walk, whatever.
Oh, it would speed up the game.
Speed up the game. You might need more outs, you know, but.
Well, I'll put that up there with Jim Cott's suggestion of shortening the games to 7 innings. And I read that from Jim, and I thought somebody must have hacked his Twitter account. That doesn't sound like Jim Cott at all.
He might want to make a comeback.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that. At 7 innings, he could probably at least give you 5, right?
The guy golfs from both sides and golfs his age.
That's the part that is really remarkable. It's one thing. I mean, I could play golf left-handed. I'd shoot about 250.
I wouldn't hit it.
2-0. But the man shot his age both right-handed and left-handed. 2-0 to Candelario. And up high now, 3-0. Odorizzi's walked at least 1 in every inning. He walked 2 in the first inning.
I'm going to explain something to the kids that might be watching pitch selection and that. You never want to throw a changeup up in the zone. I can never see a good reason to throw a changeup up. You always want to keep it down and away. You don't want to leave it inside because a hitter will let his lower body already go. He's out front. But if he keeps his hand back, he can drop the barrel of the bat on a ball down and in. It's all body and all hands when he's got to pitch down and away on an off-speed pitch.
Well, as good as Hardy's been, he made that mistake to Lamar. He let the changeup up. It was already elevated. Lamar just hit it deep enough to score the run. 3-2 now to Candelario. Tapped foul up the line. Pitch count climbing, of course, for Odorizzi. Already up to 61.
I saw Ryan Lamar out there, and I say this just because it's an observation for me. He got the blackest beard. He would have been a great Pirate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hardly needs to wear the eye black.
I mean, it's almost the same as his eye black. Dark hair.
And a walk to Candelario, and I think Odorizzi said, where was it? 4th walk issued by Odorizzi.
It's close, and we'll see the location here. He finally hits the spot. It was off the plate an inch maybe, but The problem is you're not going to get those pitches when you've been scattering the ball all over for 3 innings.
Here's Victor Martinez. Hit a ground ball to right field. Dozier happened to be standing there and threw him out. A big out at the time because there were 2 runners on base with 2 outs.
62 pitches, 4 walks already for Jake.
Season high of 5 walks in his start against the Astros on April 10th. And a strike.
I know that you see a decline in this hitter right here, but I've enjoyed for many years watching this guy hit. I consider him a true professional hitter. You know, he takes his time, but he has a great game plan. And man, he's had some great at-bats against the Twins and everybody else.
Bluff throw to first. And of course, from a distance, we see the guy play 19 times a year when he's healthy. But to me, it makes no difference what the score of the game is, whether he's already gotten 2 hits or whatever. His focus in his at-bats is unparalleled.
Yeah. Well, that's a sign of a true pro.
1-1 to Martinez. Swipe tag by Morrison. And Candelario gets back.
I never really thought about it this way, but I can say something, and I'm saying it to you to debate with me. Is it seems like Victor Martinez takes the emotion out of his at-bats. There's no emotion. He goes up there with a plan. You don't ever see him smiling or laughing. You know, he's dead serious.
I'm not going to debate that.
Yeah.
I agree with it. But isn't that true for so many great hitters? There's a pitch inside. The guy who comes to mind is Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray was very stoic.
Yeah. No, I think that's a common denominator with great hitters is they don't get too high or too low. They grind it out. And, you know, pitchers need to do that themselves. But truly the great hitters know their strength and can search and almost will a ball to be pitched in the wheelhouse.
2-2 now to Martinez. Physical skills have decayed, to be sure, but the focus is still there. 66 pitches for Jake Odorizzi, and he has gotten 8 outs.
He got 2 quick outs this inning, and then he walks Candelario.
2-2. And now 3-2 with John Hicks on deck. That's what you're talking about right there. If you're scattering your pitches all over the place, you're not going to get the borderline.
You're not going to get that real one that you spot perfectly. You know, a pitcher's pitch, you're usually not going to get it. I saw on the last pitch there, it really looked like Jake flew open with his front shoulder, and he really didn't finish off, and that's why the ball was up and away.
Runner goes, and the pitch hit to center. And Lamar going back, still going back, and still has plenty of room to end the inning. 3 laborious innings. There's another 4-syllable word, but the Twins have a 1-0 lead. the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. 1-0 Twins. We've had a very slow pace to this game so far. And we head to the 4th inning, and Eddie Rosario will lead things off with Nico Goodrum replacing Cabrera, not only in the batting order but also at first base.
Yeah, and back to his last at bat, even though Goodrum was the guy who swung and missed at the last pitch, the strikeout is credited against Miguel Cabrera.
And now something at 79 miles per hour floats over for strike one. 1-1.
Just a slow curveball right there. He's really changing eye levels and pitching in and out.
I hope he doesn't take it as an insult, because I mean it as a compliment. When I watched him pitch against the Twins 3 weeks ago at Target Field and again here tonight, he reminds me of a contemporary of yours, Tommy John. I mean, no two pitches are the same velocity. Some spin more than others.
You know the difference, though, and Tommy John was the best I ever saw at it. He would start a ball 2 inches from the outside corner and get a strike, and then he'd throw one an inch off the outside corner and you'd swing and miss, and then he'd throw one 2 inches off the outside corner and you'd chase again. I mean, he got you to keep fishing over and over again.
2-2 to Rosario. Just missed with a fastball, one of the few that he's thrown.
And that's a perfect pitch to throw in that situation. It's great to see Eddie lay off that, because that's been a tough one for him to lay off of. He's up there to hit.
Full count. And he keeps the at bat alive, flicking something foul that was coming in 84 miles per hour.
Yeah, the previous one was 87, and that one he just took a little more off of. Same location, off the plate. And Eddie Rosario gets a little piece of it.
3 mile per hour difference is what, 2 feet or whatever in terms of
bat velocity.
And an awkward swing. You won't see Eddie Rosario swing like that very often. One down. Let's go to Audra Martin.
Well, guys, All-Star voting is underway, and the first American League update came out earlier this afternoon. Here is a look at the leaders so far. No real surprises, especially in the outfield, with Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, and Aaron Judge leading the way. But Twins fans, that means we've got some work to do. Eddie Rosario sits 14th among outfielders with just over 92,000 votes. Mookie Betts not only leads all outfielders, but has more votes than any other player on the ballot. I'm talking to Paul Molitor about Eddie Rosario. He says, I don't need to give him a sales pitch. It's just a fact. He's been our best player so far this year. But he also said, in his opinion, Eduardo Escobar and Jose Barrios deserve some consideration as well. So fans, get on those phones, computers, tablets. You have until July 5th to get those guys to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, we encourage you to do that. Escobar retired on a nice play by Jamer Candelario into field a deep second hop, and he made a good play. Here is Sano. Took 6 pitches and struck out looking. There's ball 1.
It's amazing to me how today's generation, I think it has a lot to do with the playing surfaces and how uniform all fields are across baseball nowadays. But to see a shortstop, third baseman go deep in the hole, or in a third baseman's cape to his right to the third base line, and then throw across a diamond and literally bounce it on purpose so that they don't overthrow.
Something they couldn't do if they were at Tiger Stadium and Alex Karras and the Lions were playing a few days before. Right. Every match is live. Over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event just 2 days away, only on Fox and FS1. Now, you were a baseball guy, but I could picture you playing a little soccer in your time, too. No?
You know, I ran a lot as a kid, but it wasn't after a soccer ball.
Well, I just figured ski jumping, you know, and I don't know why. I just imagine you might have played some soccer.
Yeah, that's a demanding sport. People don't realize how much wind and endurance you have to play that sport.
One strike to John Hicks, one infielder on the right side, and it's Morrison, of course, and he checks his swing 1-1. We talked about this over the weekend with Morrison playing where he is, and he's a hustler, but he's not the fastest guy in the world. Any ground ball hit to the left side, and he's got to book it to get to the bag. It's a long way for a first baseman to play off the bag. Foul back, 1-2.
Well, when you see a shift like this and you're a pitcher out there, you've got to make sure that you get a ball that he pulls. The whole idea of a shift is to make him hit it into the shift. And true, you want the ball sometimes down and away, but those are the pitches, especially with 2 strikes, where hitters are going to be willing to go the other way.
Just off the corner, now 2-2. Boy, it just seems like every plate appearance has lasted at least 5 pitches, doesn't it?
Well, he's really struggled with his command today. He's got 4 walks. See the pitch count at 72 already here in the top of the bottom of the 4th inning.
Popped up, and now Morrison's got to go chase another one. Near the tarp and out of play. Still 2-2.
Well, normally he'd be back in position right now, but he's got another 40 feet to go.
It'll be Hicks, Jones, and Iglesias here in the Tiger 4th. 1 hit apiece. Neither one was hit particularly well. At least the Tiger hit got to the outfield grass. That one scalded to left center field. Lamar will cut it off and fire it back in, holding Hicks to a single. So one of the few well hit balls tonight, and it's a leadoff single for John Hicks.
I don't mean to be picking on Jake Odorizzi, but another hanging breaking ball right here. You saw how the ball just stayed up in the zone, and that's right up in the eyes of a hitter. Breaking balls that are up there are so much easier to hit. It's almost like they got a flashing sign saying, hit me, hit me. You know, fastballs sometimes, because they got a little giddy up, especially in the high 90s, you can get away with that, but you never get away with breaking balls that are hung.
You're lucky you don't have to ask for a new baseball when you leave them up there. Here's Jacoby Jones. Hicks aboard as a leadoff batter for the 2nd inning in a row. He got a leadoff walk in the 2nd. And a bit better pickoff throw might have gotten Hicks at first base.
Ramon Santiago back as the first base coach. He was gone over the weekend on paternity leave. And my good friend Alan Trammell was taken over there at first base. But got to put a leash on Hicks.
Hard bunt that'll go foul, 1 strike. Well, we'll talk more about that over the course of the weekend, but in addition to finally getting into the Hall of Fame, going in with Alan Trammell's got to be a special treat for him.
Unbelievable. I can't even describe it. You know, we signed the same year. Alan was out of high school, San Diego, California. I was out of college my junior year, and within about 2.5 weeks after signing, we were both in AA Montgomery, Alabama. Tram started in A-ball. And a year later, you know, I was up to the big leagues, and a week after I got there, here comes Tram and Lou. And 13 years together as teammates, a world championship. And now 42 years later, we're going into Cooperstown together. It's a dream come true. I mean, it's not only rewarding, but knowing him as a person and as a personal friend, it's so gratifying for me.
It's the 2nd time Hicks has had to ask for time after diving back to the bag. First time it looked like he was just because he was dirty. Yeah, he wanted to clean off his hands.
He's pointing towards his lungs like he might have knocked the wind out of himself. He's a big man.
Catching a little grief, I think, from the Tiger manager.
Shocking.
1 strike to Jones. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. And Odorizzi getting a rare swing and miss.
Oh, he did a belly flop, landed right on his rib cage. And he probably did have the wind knocked out of him right there.
2 strikes.
You typically got to protect your upper body with your arms. They got to land first. He just did a belly flop there.
Jones strikes out. Second strikeout for Odorizzi, 1 away. It'll bring up Iglesias.
Well, he gets a fastball up and away.
Well, Odorizzi's had a great deal of success up there, and he's, in that at bat at least, got a couple of swings and misses up there. But they were high strikes, not pitches up out of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Iglesias fouled out to Kepler his first time up.
He's definitely concerned about Hicks over at first base.
A word on Miguel Cabrera. He left the game with a left elbow tendon strain, and he's currently undergoing an MRI. A bicep tendon strain, which, I mean, the tendon's attached to the elbow, then it goes to the bicep. I didn't go to medical school, but I know that.
You sure?
That I did go to medical school? Yes, I'm quite sure.
Stayed at a Holiday Inn one night? Well, let's just hope it's not terrible. It just didn't look good for Miguel.
Just based on his reaction more than anything else. There's an off-speed pitch. Clocked at 91 miles per hour. I guess that was a fastball. Strike 1.
Yeah, same location as the strikeout to Jones.
Chasing upstairs, and that's the Odorizzi that we've seen, a guy who's been pitching up there to get swinging strikes.
Well, he's in the zone, though. He's on the border of the zone, but it's a big difference than, 6 inches too high and an inch or two outside. He wants him to bury this one in the dirt.
And it's lined into the right field corner, a fair ball. Hicks round second, on his way to third. The ball gets by Kepler, and it'll tie the game. On his way to third, Iglesias, and we're tied at 1. Max tried to take the right angle, but the ball beat him all the way to the corner and then around. And Hicks scores easily from first base.
Again, look at the location here. Garver wants the ball down, and it's center cut upper part of the strike zone. And then, like you described, Dick, ball rolls around in the corner. And, Hicks able to score from first base.
Dixon Machado, who had the other hit, or the only hit coming into this inning, had a long battle with Odorizzi, and then he fought one off into right field for a base hit. Now the Twins bring the infield in with 1 away. Off the plate, ball 1. Iglesias driving in his 25th run.
These are tough days for a pitcher when you don't have your good stuff. Jake obviously doesn't have his good command today, and you still got to figure a way.
Line foul. And Iglesias takes the opportunity to do some push-ups. Had to get out of the way first, and then thought, well, while I'm down here, may as well get some exercise.
Well, that'll be a highlight film somewhere.
1-1 to Machado. Inside, and it hit him. And that'll send him to first base. First and third, 1 down, and Leonis Martin will bat. See where the Twins position the infield here. Martin runs pretty well. Not a logical candidate for a double play. Brushed his jersey. And Odorizzi, if you've watched, you know he's not a ground ball pitcher. He's not likely to get a ground ball double play. He's only collected 3 all year. And here comes Garvin Alston. They're going to talk about this.
Well, they're also buying some time. There's some activity out in the Twins bullpen. I don't know if anybody's up and throwing yet, but it's getting close. 83 pitches already. And Garvin's taking his time getting out there to just kind of settle him in.
212 at bats for Martin. He's bounced into 1 double play, and he'll be facing a pitcher who doesn't get many double play grounders. So we'll see whether the Twins play the infield in here rather than playing back at double play depth. Ryan Presley getting loose.
Hey, we got a golf cart here, and it'll be interesting to see if Eddie Guardado lets any of his bullpen guys take that cart.
He says if any of them try, there's going to be a fight on the field. Presley getting loose. The Twins have the corner infielders up. Morrison holding the runner, obviously, but the middle infielders are playing back. In the unlikely event, Odorizzi can get a ground ball double play. Fouled back, a strike. Only one pitcher here has used the cart. Wilson for the Tigers has used it.
Alex Wilson.
Alex Wilson.
That was quite common in my early career. Seemed like a lot of bullpens had cars and golf carts.
1 strike to Martin. Fly ball center field, hit pretty well. Lamar has a long run out there. And again, 400 feet from home plate. He'll make the catch. And the throw back to the infield. A sacrifice fly, and the Tigers take the lead.
Now it's getting the job done if you're Tigers. Right there, you see Martin gets another pitch up in the zone.
But the Tigers, who in this inning have swung and missed at that pitch a couple of times, have also put it in play twice. The Iglesias double looked like it was on, or triple looked like it was on a high fastball, and Martin there was able to get on top of it a little bit, put it in play to straightaway center. Here's Castellanos. Tigers leading 2-1. And Odorizzi throwing pitch number 86. Fouled away. Now, you were a starting pitcher. I can't imagine you were one who would have used a bullpen cart.
No, I wanted to take my time. You know, I thought that was one of the luxuries of being a pitcher is you want to tie your shoe, you want to clean your spikes, the whole world has to wait for you. Now, you can call that arrogant, whatever you want, but that was reality for me. That's the time I could get even with those fans who were booing me.
1 strike to Castellanos. Well, Audra asked Eddie about the bullpen cart here, and he went on and on and on about, no, nobody's going to do it. They're going to have to, you know, fight through me to get in the cart and all that. And I thought, well, now let's remember where Eddie pitched at the Metrodome, right?
Yeah. He didn't even have a. He was down the third base.
Yes, I mean it was what 150 feet, something like that, to the mound.
You know, on this subject,
1-1 to Castellanos.
I think the worst thing I've seen, forget the golf cart, forget the cart, is the big husky heavy relief pitcher that sprints all the way from the dugout or from the bullpen to the mound. He's out of gas when he gets there. And he's huffing and puffing, and then he's got to throw his 7 warm-up pitches.
1-2 to Castellanos. So you're more of the Jose Valverde, Lee Smith style. You would have come in and taken your time. The TV networks could have sold an extra minute worth of commercial breaks.
Why not? You know, for me, and we'll get into this next half inning because it's another discussion that's going to take a little time.
1-2 to Castellanos. High fastball got him. And Odorizzi struggles again here in the fourth, and the Tigers reach him for a couple of runs. It's 2-1 Detroit. And tonight's Pepsi fan of the game, hoping that the Twins can turn this game back around. Twins taking the first lead. Now the Tigers in front by a run. Max Kepler taking ball one from Blaine Hardy. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. When the Twins faced Hardy at Target Field, he had them shut out for 4 innings and hardly any solid contact, and then the Twins got to him. He got 3 straight 2-out hits to score a couple of runs against Hardy, and then he was done. Very weakly hit. A couple of hops to the second baseman Machado, 1 away.
Here we are in the top of the 5th, and not much as far as hard hit balls by the Twins.
And now Mitch Garver hit a ground ball to short his first time up. Twins have 1 hit, an infield hit by Adrianza. He stole second on a pitch in the dirt, went to third on a wild pitch, 74 miles per hour, strike 1, and scored on a Lamar sacrifice fly.
Well, it just, Twins are not obviously swinging it well, but it's also the guy on the hill today, Blaine Hardy, has been so sharp. Making his pitches, changing speeds, changing eye level, fastball, changeup, breaking ball.
About a week ago, I asked Paul Molitor about why, particularly the right-handed batters in his lineup, in his daily lineup, have struggled so much against lefties, and he mentioned guys like Hardy that even the fastball cuts in, and there, everything moves. In this case, he's just done a masterful job of changing speeds. 2-1. And strike 2, 2-2.
79-mile-an-hour changeup right down the middle, and it locks him up. That just shows how they're really off balance right now, looking for one pitch and getting the complete opposite.
Fouled away.
Now you're in defense mode if you're a hitter. Mitch Garver obviously going to have to battle and fight off everything right now. Not easy to do.
To face another left-hander tomorrow, Matthew Boyd. Pitches up and away, 3-2. Bounced foul. Full count to Garber. One gone here in the top of the 5th. Checked his swing and took ball 4. The first walk issued by Hardy, and now Morrison will bat. Target Field's become a top choice for families in Twins territory, celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, bachelorette parties, and family celebrations of all kinds. You can schedule your special event in a fully catered Target Field hospitality space available for groups of 16 to 250 plus. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. With the exception of the 4-hour rain delay on Saturday, we had glorious weather at Target Field for the just completed homestand. Now Morrison with a drive to center, retreating as Martin. Plenty of room out there for the catch, and out number 2.
Well, even though that produced an out, it's good to see Logan Morrison keeping his shoulder in and driving the ball. That was a pitcher's pitch right there, down and away, and he didn't pull off of it, which he was doing earlier when he was struggling. Let's watch this last swing. Watch how he keeps his shoulder in and goes down after that ball.
Here is Andrianza, who got the leadoff single and scored later the Twins run. Andrianza now 13 hits and 36 at bats as a right-handed batter. And now 0-2.
Twins have really had some funny looking swings, and that again shows what kind of job Blaine Hardy's doing out there. Just being fooled a lot. He's working quick too.
Ooh, fastball at 88 under his chin. 1-2. You
see Hicks wants the ball up, and one got away a little bit.
1-2 to Adrianza. Call, third strike.
That's not fair.
75 on the corner, and it's a scoreless 5th for Hardy. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Jake Odorizzi struggled through 4 innings, gave up a couple of runs in the 4th. Twins haven't done much of anything against Blaine Hardy for the 2nd start in a row. And now Nico Goodrum will have his first at bat. Entered the game when Miguel Cabrera left with a left bicep tendon strain. And if we get the results of the MRI, any indication as to how serious the injury is, we'll let you know. Goodrum with a swing and a miss, 1 strike.
We'll see if Jake Odorizzi can get through his first inning with under 20 pitches. Every inning so far, the first 4, he's had over 20 pitches. And that's why the pitch count's sitting at 90 right now.
Big breaking ball missed inside, but it was one of his better breaking balls in terms of distance dropped that he's had here tonight.
12-6 right there. That was a good one.
And fouled away. No play for Rosario. 1-2. Goodrum getting a chance to play here in Detroit, a chance he probably wouldn't have had in Minnesota. He got called up toward the end of last year, got 1 hit, and then was picked up by the Tigers on a minor league deal. Minor league contract, I should say. There was no transaction. Switch hitter, 1-2. This one down the line, and Rosario has a long run here, and that ball will land. Goodrum digging for second. Here's Rosario's throw, and it's a double for Nico Goodrum. Didn't hit it well, but hit it in a good spot for a leadoff double.
Well, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the location of that fastball was why you had the result that you had. Mitch Garver wanted a ball down in the zone, inner half, and he left it about belt high, and that was just enough to fight it off. Inside out swing and flared it out to left. Nothing really Eddie Rosario could do.
Chamber Candelario has popped up and walked against Odorizzi. Goodrum, of course, has some speed. Presents a bit of a challenge being at second with nobody out.
First double for the Tigers tonight, but you saw that stat there. 149th double of the year for Detroit.
One and 0 to Candelario.
Rizzi just not having an easy inning at all tonight.
And now 2-0.
I think Paul would just be delighted if he could get through this inning without giving up another run. It's obviously getting near the end, 95 pitches. And he'd love to see if he could get him through this half inning.
2-0. On the ground, Morrison with a nice pickup on his backhand side down the line, and he turns it into an out. On the play, Goodrum goes to third.
That was a nice play right there from Logan Morrison. See, you'll watch it again. The ball's hit sharply down the right field line, and he has to go to his left, backhand it.
Twins will bring the infield in here for Victor Martinez.
Better look right there. Not an easy guy to strike out here. He puts the ball in play, and he's going to just try to lift the ball anywhere he can deep enough in the outfield to score this third run of the game.
Up and in. Guy's driven in over 1,100 runs in his big league career because he's executed in situations like this.
Yeah, this is where he makes his money. Remember back in the first inning, the Twins had a shift on him. Dozier caught the ball in shallow right center and was able to get him to ground out 4-3.
Right now, Dozier's about half the distance from home plate as he was during that at bat.
Twins have the infield drawn in, trying to prevent that runner at third, Nico Goodrum, from scoring with only one out.
2-0 to Victor Martinez.
Oh,
Morrison spears the line drive, out number 2. That's the third nice play that Morrison's made at first base, going back on the pop-up a couple of innings ago. The pickup on the hot ground ball over the bag for an out, and now that ball just absolutely rocketed.
Well, it's more of a reaction than anything else. You see, the ball's hit so fast, lifts up his hand, the ball's in his glove, and it really is a pitcher's friend right there. Now with 2 outs, the infield will go back, and Jake Odorizzi is about to throw his 100th pitch of the game here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th or bottom of the 5th inning.
The exit velocity of out number 2, 102 miles per hour. That ball was tagged. Hicks has yet to be retired. He drew a leadoff walk in the 2nd. He got a leadoff single in the 4th. Strike on the outside corner. The feeling the Tigers have about Hicks, the same the Twins had, the Mariners before that. This guy can hit. It's just, where are you going to play him? Now it looks like he might get some more time at first base if Cabrera's injury is anything substantial. Fouled away, 2 strikes.
Jake get away with another mistake right there. That ball is right down Broadway. And Hicks just a little bit late on it. He had a little more velocity. Been throwing around 91, 92, and that one at 93.
102nd pitch coming up for Odorizzi, and he's hoping it will be his last, having gotten the 15th out. Checked his swing. Yes. And Hicks throws the bat away and shrugs his shoulders at first base umpire Tim Timmons. The inning ends, and the Tigers waste their leadoff double.
Video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Dick Bramer and Jack Morris here. I got a call to make. Ryan Lamar is going to try to bunt for a base hit here. He's leading off the 6th. Twins haven't hit much of anything hard. They have just the 1 hit against Blaine Hardy.
Candelario back at third base. And
well, now he's been told to creep up, and there's Lamar with a push bunt.
Got it by him. That'll do it.
By him, and there's your bunt single.
Beautiful. You called it. Good call. In a perfect location right there.
So Lamar and his speed are aboard here to start the 6th inning. And at least he gets Hardy back into the stretch, and third time through the orders when the Twins had some success against Hardy in Minnesota.
Second hit of the game for the Twins, and both of them went about the same distance. One was a swinging bunt down the third baseline, and that one perfectly executed drag bunt past Blaine Hardy, and once he gets past him towards the second baseman, he could have walked the rest of the way.
Here's Dozier, a bouncer to third and a pop-up, a foul out to the catcher Hicks. It's interesting watching Lamar do that. That's the bunt that Byron Buxton says it really is difficult for him, and you'd think, I would think, I wasn't any good at swinging a bat or bunting for that matter, but you'd think that would be the easier bunt of the two because you're just pushing it ahead of you as a right-handed batter. the ball travels a little bit deeper.
Yep.
You don't have to have the angle of the bat exact.
Right. And I think talking to some of the best bunters of all time, Rod Carew comes to mind right now. And I asked him, I had a long conversation about bunting with him one time, and he said, Jack, most guys are not willing to let the ball travel to them. They want to get going, they want to run, and they don't let the ball get to them so that they have the bat control that they need before they start running. If you put the ball down in the right spot, running isn't the issue. You can almost jog down the first baseline.
1 strike to Dozier. Twins need a big at bat here. Big hit from Brian Dozier. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Great location right there. Change up down and away. Brian just a little out front, swung hard, but it's just the location of that pitch that gets the result.
Again, last year Dozier hit .331 against left-handers, and he's hitting .200 against them this year. 0-2. And he's gone on 3 pitches.
Didn't look like Brian had a good look at any of those pitches right there. Looks like another changeup away. Ball's up a little bit, 82-mile-an-hour changeup.
1 down, Lamar still at first. Rosario the batter.
5th strikeout for Blaine Hardy.
Rosario with a number back to the mound, and then one of the worst at bats that Eddie's had in terms of swing quality. Went down swinging in the 4th. Outside, ball 1.
Hardy's season high in strikeouts is 6, so he's only 1 away from that. Yeah, when you see Eddie Rosario, who's been red hot for quite some time, having those kinds of swings.
Close, they got him. A snap throw to first, and Lamar is picked off. With eyes to the Twins dugout, the video room will look at it. Just can't let that happen, and it might have happened.
Well, we're going to get the first look right here.
I think they got him on the ribs before the hand got on the bag. And there will be no challenge. So 2 down, base is empty. You know Rosario's going to hit a double here, don't you? It never fails. Deep to the left field corner. Chased by Jones, still tracking it, and makes the fair ball catch in the corner. Just 3 men bat despite the bunt single, and it's still 2-1 Detroit. Number of St. Thomas theme night packages are available that include a game ticket and a purple and gray Twins cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/St. Thomas or call 800-33-TWINS. Jake Odorizzi did not have a fun time out there tonight, but he did pitch 5 innings and gave up just 2 runs.
Yeah, it was a struggle for Jake location-wise tonight. You see he gave up the 4 hits, only 2 runs. It could have been a lot worse. The Tigers left 7 men on base over those 5 innings. So he was able to navigate it, and I think Paul Molitor happy that he got through 5, only trailing by a run. We'll see what Ryan Presley can do now for the Twins.
High fastball, and Presley, of course, can get a lot of swings and misses upstairs too. Presley's had a really tough go of it over the last 5 outings. He's pitched a total of 4 innings and given up 7 earned runs, 3 home runs. So the Twins need to get Presley on track. Available for duty tonight, if you just missed it earlier today and perhaps just joined us, got your mind on baseball instead of a raccoon in downtown St. Paul. The Twins reacquired Matt Belisle today. Fouled away. Belisle was in the Indian minor league system, and he is here and available to pitch. Belisle finished the season last year as the Twins closer. 2 strikes to Jacoby Jones, who has fouled out and struck out so far tonight.
I just think that acquisition was almost as important for his leadership as Presley freezes Jones on that last pitch, gets his first strikeout. Talking about Matt Belisle, and Paul Molitor knows what he brings in leadership quality. Here's a look at that 97-mile-an-hour fastball, outer half.
1 down now, Iglesias. And just the players I talked to, they were thrilled with the acquisition. But ultimately, you know, Matt's going to have to get people out, as he did last year.
No question. I mean, there's no room. I mean, leadership is great, and you hope everybody has it. But a lot of times that leadership carries out to the field, and you lead by example.
Right.
That's what veterans do more than anything else.
1 strike to Iglesias. And a ball hit to right center and down for a hit. And Iglesias, who hit the big triple, the biggest at bat in the 2-run 4th, gets a 1-out single here in the 6th.
It's this ball right off the end of the barrel, but it finds a hole out in right center.
And now Dixon Machado, who's reached twice, had a long at bat, dumped a single into right, then he was hit by a pitch in the 2-run 5th. And he didn't score, he didn't advance beyond first base. But his being hit was a big factor in the inning because he's the number 9 batter, and instead of Odorizzi getting him to pop up, strike out, whatever you would typically expect a number 9 batter to do, he instead reached first base, and then Martin lifted the sacrifice fly. If the number 9 batter had been retired as the second out of the inning, maybe the Tigers don't score that 2nd run. 1-1. Twins need Ryan Presley to be effective, and with that will come his confidence, and then he becomes once again a weapon out of the bullpen.
When we watch Ryan Presley pitch, let's watch that part right there. His front shoulder, his lead shoulder, is the key to everything he does. And when he's flying open and his head's moving, it's almost like a quarterback on a rollout. You don't have the same kind of accuracy as when you're sitting in the pocket. You can see all the receivers running across from you. He's moving too much.
Popped up short center, and Lamar trots in, and that's out number 2. And that'll bring up Martin. Are you game for a little excitement? Head to foxsportsnorth.com to submit a photo and message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day. 2 down now. Iglesias still at first, and now Martin drove in the go-ahead run with a fly ball to center in the 4th. Twins flailing away at Blaine Hardy here, and apparently the Indians are doing the same against James Shields. White Sox leading 3-0. Shields pitching a shutout so far in Chicago, that game in the 4th inning.
Well, Presley can get out of this inning here with minimum damage. Twins still in this ball game, only trailing by 1.
They might have to get Blaine Hardy out of the game.
Well, I mean, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. And I don't think it's going to be because of pitch count. He's doing what he's supposed to do, pitching a great ball game for Detroit. But you see a guy that doesn't, throw in the high 90s. He's been 92 at some of his better fastballs, but great command of his breaking ball today.
2-0. Earlier we compared him to Tommy John. Same thing with Mark Burley more recently. When they're on, you think we could swing against this guy all night and not get a well-hit ball.
You look up after the game's over and you say, I should have got 3 hits, and you got a big 0 up there. And, you've got to give a guy like this credit. He is really pitching tonight.
2-0.
It's frustrating for the Twins, who need to generate some offense.
And a long way foul. I think it's frustrating for the viewers too, because they look at it and they go, I could hit that stuff.
Yeah, well, if they could, they'd be in the big leagues right now taking a whack at it. It's my favorite.
But those are the most frustrating guys, right? I mean, the guys who don't overpower you, they just throw it over and let you get yourself out.
I think they do frustrate hitters more than anybody else, is the guys that just miss barrels. It's right there, and all of a sudden it's not there. And it's not because of velocity.
2-1. And Martin swings and misses 2-2.
Big break right there on the curveball, overhand curveball from Ryan. He's got a good breaking ball tonight. And last pitch, see the drop on that pitch.
2-2.
You usually have pretty good results when the ball's down around the dirt and it starts out at the shoulders.
Runner goes, and it's ball 3. There will be no throw. Stolen base for Iglesias. Now he's in scoring position. Presley pretty much ignored him, so he took advantage of it.
Yep, he didn't even. That was a great jump by Iglesias, and Garvert had no play at all. Had to eat the ball. Let's hope it doesn't hurt the Twins.
Full count. Castellanos on deck. Hit hard, but foul. Twins would prefer Castellanos lead off the 7th inning.
Yep, go after the hitter right now. You got 2 strikes.
And he missed. Ball 4. Now Castellanos, the most dangerous Detroit hitter, will come up with 2 men aboard. Castellanos with a walk, a pop-up down the line, and that was the play where Morrison made a really nice catch after a long run, and then Castellanos struck out in the 4th. Garvin Alston to the mound. Morrison's had a good game at first base with that catch and a couple of other nice plays.
Yeah, he's doing a good job over at first base. This is not an easy one, and the way he catches it is really unorthodox, but he stays with the baseball and produces an out there. Then this one going to his left made it look a lot easier than it was, and then a reaction play right there. Hard hit ball from Victor Martinez, and he just throws his glove up and it ends up in the glove. Good job over there for Logan Morrison tonight.
And Joe Mauer has talked his way into the second game of the doubleheader just to get some at-bats, and then the plan is he'll play first base tomorrow for 9 innings. If he passes those tests, we expect he'll rejoin the club, and it'll be interesting to see how the Twins handle Mauer in terms of first base duty versus DH duty whenever he returns. Here's Castellanos and a big swing and a miss.
Well, I got to believe unless he just comes out of the box crushing the ball and getting on base every at-bat, the Twins are going to be a little gentle with him. They're going to have to give him some time. Paul knows his role, and he's going to have to give him his rest in between. Ease him back in gently.
This one hit to right. Back is Kepler, and on the track makes the catch. It's still a 2-1 ball game with the Tigers in front in the series opener.
Guy in the clubhouse. The funniest guy on the team.
He's the funny guy in the team.
The guy brings light to the clubhouse. Very funny, but also knows when to be serious. And one heck of a player. One heck of a player. Very underrated player.
At least until this week, when he was named the American League Player of the Week, and Escobar will lead off the 7th against Blaine Hardy. And there is strike one. It's akin to trying to hit a knuckleballer, it seems like tonight. The ball just kind of floats in or near the strike zone. And there is ball one, 1-1.
He's been very good at changing speeds tonight. This is a good time for Eddie to get serious. Twins need base runners. They only trail by 1. They need to start generating something. 7th inning.
This one will spin out of play, 1-2. The closest thing I have to a well hit ball was Rosario's deep fly to the left field corner.
Yeah.
Escobar topped a 2-hopper. Nice play turned in by Candelario, but there hasn't been a line drive. There hasn't been a particularly sharp ground ball. 1-2 to Escobar. And another chopper foul. That's what he's done, as you said, missing barrels.
Yeah. He's just, everything's different. Every look is different. He's thrown a lot of breaking balls, but they're different spots. He's able to command it outside. He's able to command it inside. He's able to bring it down and up in the zone. I mean, just tremendous control tonight.
2-2. Now in Minnesota, it all ended in a hurry in the 5th inning with a flurry of hits. 3 straight 2-out hits.
Well, in a 1-run game, Gardy's going to have his bullpen ready to go here. He's climbing up the ladder in pitch count, but for what he's done, it's been very good.
Towards a hole, and it'll bleed through, and Escobar has a hit. He'll run through the bag, and the leadoff man is on for the 2nd inning in a row, and we'll see if that does anything from causes a reaction from the Detroit manager.
Let's go back to this pitch. Look at the location. That ball's out of the zone down. You got to give Eduardo Escobar credit for barreling this ball up. And Iglesias, pretty good shortstop, but it gets by him. Gardy coming out to make a move right here, I think. Doesn't want
your manager, Sparky Anderson, always said when it got to this part of the game, he would not let his starter lose a ball game. And now there's a man aboard and a power hitter coming up. And whether that's the factor in play here or not, I don't know.
You know what? I buy into it because he's pitched a whale of a game. He's going to walk off the mound confident for his next start. He's done his job. He's gotten his team into the 7th inning with a lead. And now it's up to those guys in the pen to finish it off.
Coleman will come in to face Sano when we come back. Golfers in the world at the 118th U.S. Open. Live coverage begins Thursday from Shinnecock Hills on Fox FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Miguel Sano, I don't guess, is too disappointed that Hardy's taken out. But the Tigers have some bullpen issues, but not from this guy. The late inning guys have done a nice job.
He's been very good for Detroit.
And Escobar checked at first. Coleman coming in for the 14th time. Opponent batting average under 200. Hasn't walked too many people. A lot of strikeouts.
Very good ERA. He's done it all.
Up and in to Sano.
You know, I suspect part of the reason is it's got to be hard to pick up the ball off this guy. He hides it very well. There you see his numbers for the year.
Checked his swing, 2-0. Well, the Twins got a leadoff single from Lamar, but then he was picked off. See what they can do here with Escobar's leadoff hit. Sano is 0 for 2. The average down to 203. Half swing, but a strike. I think on location, if not the swing. Looked like it hit the outside corner. 2-1.
Sano's looking middle half in, and this ball's away. And how many times have we seen that half swing? He's got to get out of that habit. It's killing him.
Inside now 3-1. Kepler on deck. You look at the Tiger relievers, and Coleman has been good. Jimenez has been good.
Shane Green turned it into the closer.
3-1. He was looking for a fastball and got something else.
Yeah, very good slider right there. Took a little bit off. Great location down and away. See Sano's shoulder, hips, both of them are gone. Doesn't stay on the ball with his upper half.
Popped up over the Twins dugout and out of play.
A little better job there on that pitch. It was off his plate, out of the zone, but he stayed in on it a little bit better.
Full count to Miguel Sano. Half swing. No swing, and that is a huge call by the first base umpire, Tim Timmons. Sano walks instead of a check swing strikeout, and the tying runs at second. Take a look. Yep, that was a good check.
Yep.
So now Kepler will bat.
Well, more importantly, it was a good at bat for Sano. He didn't get really anything to hit at all, and he ends up on first base and keeps the wheel moving here.
Kepler 0 for 2 tonight, but in this ballpark over the years, of course, there's only been a couple of them. He's hit .347. Way outside, ball one.
Twins running out of chances. This is the inning where they've got an opportunity now. Runner already in scoring position. Nobody out.
A mound visit from Hicks. Kepler's not only hit well here, he's dramatically hit well with some big hits late in games. Big home run hit here a couple of years ago against Frankie Rodriguez, their closer.
So you're saying he's due?
Well, he certainly is that. I think we tried to make that point in his first at bat. He hasn't really been in a slump, but he hasn't really taken off like we know he can either. 1-0. 2-0.
Well, as long as the pitcher is going to get behind in counts, you've got to really keyhole this as a hitter. You've got to see a ball in a location. And now Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, is going to come out. Maybe he saw something that he didn't like.
Well, the whole situation I don't think he likes.
A reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent to the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Warren Saupold warming up now. He had a little stumble there towards the end, but that's fine because you're going to be. I know, and you're going to be reading it 5 more times on this road trip, and then 6 more times on the homestand. So we expect perfection.
I would like to start abbreviating it, making things up, and basically getting the same message out of it. Don't record the thing without permission.
2-0 to Kepler. Twins hoping for at least the tying run to be scored here in the 7th. Chance for a bigger inning. And down and in 3-0. Garver on deck. Ongoing debate. You green light a guy here, or do you have him take?
You know, I always like hitting. You know, if you're getting a pitch, if you get a cookie, but it's got to be right where you're looking.
And he took a strike up and away, and it's 3-1.
Good take. That's not the one he was looking for.
He was looking down and in, and it was a strike up and away.
Right. So you tip your hat to the pitcher and you say, okay, see if you can do that again. And you're in the same situation. It's 3-1 now.
Grounded foul, 3-2.
To me, that ball I know Max can handle that pitch down, but that's almost 2 down. Right below the strike zone. It's hard to elevate a pitch down that far. Got to have that good uppercut swing.
That's what the Twins need here. Some elevation and some exit velocity, both of them.
Launch angle.
Called third strike. A breaking ball throws him one away.
Perfect pitch. Pitcher's pitch right there.
It's all over the place through the Sano at bat and early in the Kepler at bat. And he came up with an awfully big breaking ball to strike out Kepler.
Backdoor breaking ball right there and crosses the plate as a strike, and then the catcher kind of boxes it a little bit. Hicks might have been taken away from him because of the way he caught it, but first out.
Jake Cave had a big day on Sunday, making his 2nd pinch hitting appearance since his call up over the weekend. Struck out to end the game on Saturday. And Paul Molitor hoping to use the hot hand here. Cave with 3 hits, 3 runs batted in on Sunday, including a 2-run home run. Outside, ball 1.
Lewis Coleman is kind of flirting with disaster himself, falling behind 3 straight hitters.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Cave's home run Sunday to the deepest part of target field over the 411 line.
Yeah.
The ball just disappeared.
Yeah, it starts out right in that lower quadrant of the strike zone and then just drops out of the strike zone.
1-1. Checked his swing, 2-1. Coleman's got more velocity than Blaine Hardy does, but he still relies mainly, or at least he has here tonight, on his off-speed stuff. A little rain falling here now to complicate matters in the 7th inning. 2-1 to Cave. Up high, 3-1, and now he's got to come back as he did against Kepler.
Yeah, and let's hope that Jake Cave will be a little more selective in what he swings at here. 3-1 is his pitch.
Pop up behind third. Jones near the line. And now in foul ground makes the catch, 2 away, and it'll be left to Logan Morrison. Coleman walked the first man he faced, Sano. Came back from 3-0 to get Kepler. Got Cave on a 3-1 pitch.
Well, it's a good pitch to take a whack at.
And Morrison with a chance to deliver his biggest hit as a Twin. 7 home runs, 9 doubles, but an average of just 190. On the outside corner. And at least in this at bat, Coleman will work ahead after the first pitch. Inning started with a single, then a walk. 1 strike to Morrison. Off the plate. Rizzi hoping that Morrison, teammate of his in Tampa Bay, can get him off the hook here in Detroit.
1 swing of the bat could probably score Escobar at second.
One and one. Way outside, the bluff throw towards first base. Goodrum was nowhere near the bag, neither was Sano. A lot of time to ponder for Morrison. He steps out of the box, couple of practice swings, refastens the batting gloves. See what Coleman gives him on 2 and 1. 3 and 1 with Adrianza on deck.
Well, it looks like the game plan is to stay away from Logan Morrison. Don't make a mistake middle half in where he has a chance to drive it. And they've just been missing away.
Three and 1 to Logan Morrison.
Right back down and away.
Checked his swing and took ball 4, and now they're loaded up for Adrianza. And Coleman has had 3 ball counts to all 4 batters that he's faced. And there'll be a pitching change here with Adrianza coming in. Now we know it'll be a right-hander because the Tigers don't have a left-handed relief pitcher. And Coleman checks out, having retired 2 of the 4 batters he faced.
Supple.
Warwick Saupold will come out of the Tiger pen, and he'll force Adrianza to hit from the left side, which is his weaker side. But the bases are loaded and 2 down. This is a big spot to put Saupold into.
Well, it's a big spot for both the pitcher and the hitter at the plate. Game's on the line right here. These are the exciting at-bats, I think, in a ball game.
Adrianza hit 350 from the other side of the plate, just over 200 from this side, but he does have 5 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs as a left-handed batter. And he takes up high, ball 1. Remember now the Twins made a roster move, adding Belisle and designating for assignment Petit. Now back to a 3-man bench, and the Twins have already used 1 man. Strike called, and it's 1-1. Big call there by Mike Malinsky.
Now he caught a break right there. Supple did. Ball looked like it might have been just off the plate. Too close. Either way, I guess.
1-1. 2-1. So Saupold's numbers: 27 2/3 innings, only 10 walks, 1 of those intentional. Taken for a ball. Hicks didn't receive it well, and it's 3-1.
Boy, the Twins have had this count in their favor almost the entire half inning.
5th straight 3-ball count from 2 different Tiger relievers. 3-1 to Adrianza. A drive to right field. Castellanos going back. Gone. A grand slam for A. Adrianza.
Oh, that's making the best of an opportunity right there. Getting a pitch. 3-1. See Jake Odorizzi all smiles. Blaine Hardy probably not feeling so well in his dugout.
Wow. The only well-hit ball all night long, and Adrianza tees off and hits a grand slam.
Well, he got a fastball down the middle. Let's see the pitch right there. You see middle half in, and he was ready for it. And that's what we talk about, keyholing it. Get a pitch right in your wheelhouse, and that's exactly where that fastball was. And he hit it just far enough over the yellow marker there in the upper part of the wall in right field.
What a lift.
That's Ari Adrianza's first career Grand Slam.
And for the Twins, their second of the year. And now Lamar with the bases blissfully empty. 1-1. Lamar with a sacrifice fly in the third, bunt single in the sixth. A no decision for Blaine Hardy, and when the Tigers took him out of the game, we mentioned Sparky's theory that you really shouldn't let a starting pitcher who did such a good job be in a position to lose the ball game, and as it turned out, they got him out of there just in time.
He didn't lose, but he didn't get a decision or the win.
3-1 to Lamar. Dozier on deck. Tapper left side. Nice play by Candelario, and Lamar is retired. But Ari Adrianza has hit 3 home runs all year long, all of them from the left side of the plate, and none bigger than the one he hit tonight in the 7th inning.
Well, Miguel Cabrera on that swing was taken in, well, he took himself out of the game, and he's got a tendon strain in his left elbow area. Let's hope it's not too bad. Jacob Rizzi was not real sharp, but he did navigate 5 innings and left the ball game only trailing by a run. And then the big swing that helped Jake off the hook was Ari Adrianza's grand slam to put the Twins up by 4. Here as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning.
A 5-2 Twins lead, and now Nico Goodrum.
Well, that's right, it's only 3.
Yep. Will face left-hander Zach Duke leading off the 7th inning. Strike on the outside corner. Duke's been really good for a long time now, and he hopes to put together a scoreless 7th. Spins one over for strike 2. The Twins making the move, getting Garver out, and now Bobby Wilson doing the catching. And poked foul. Goodrum entered the game when Cabrera left the game midway through his strikeout. The strikeout, of course, charged to Cabrera, and then Goodrum dropped a double leading off the 5th inning, but did not score. And we said at the time, you know, that's the type of thing the Twins have been guilty of, getting a leadoff double and not getting that run in. Way outside, and it's 1-2.
This is where the bullpen just has to shut the door. You got momentum A big grand slam, a huge hit to put the Twins back up. And Zach Duke comes into the game. He needs to shut the door right here. Do not give any momentum.
High throw, and Adrianza throws it away. And Goodrum will reach on an error. A routine 3-4 hopper, but Adrianza airmailed the throw. The leadoff man's on in the 7th.
Goodrum runs well down the line, and it looked like when Adrianza looked up, he thought he had to rush it, and that's exactly what he did. We talk about pitchers, how their lower half goes out first. You see him, and it just sails way up over Logan Morrison's glove.
Just wonder, Adrianza waiting for the ground ball, and then he looked up and he saw that, you know, Goodrum was busting it down the line, and he goosed the throw and overshot Morrison. The leadoff man's on, and now Candelario will bat. Tigers auditioning a lot of players, of course, as they have gone full bore rebuilding. And this guy looks like he's going to be a keeper. So far, he's been a better right-handed batter than left, but he's got power from both sides of the plate.
Well, it's not just what he does offensively. They've been looking for a guy to kind of corral that job at third base. Nicholas Castellanos used to be over there, and when J.D. Martinez was a free agent and left, he went out to right field. They've tried a few guys at third, including Nico Goodrum, who's on first.
1-1, and Candelario takes outside 2-1. Oh, it's just, you know, talk about the highs and lows of this game. Adrianza lifts the Twins with a big grand slam, but now an error on a routine ground ball. Hildenberger getting loose.
It's the kind of thing you hope Zach Duke can have a ground ball hit right to Adrianza again, and he can turn two and kind of feel better about it. Eliminate those demons that you have in the back of your mind sometimes when you make mistakes.
Good pitch by Duke there. A 91-mile-per-hour fastball down and away on the corner. Got to get this guy. You don't want to have to face the veteran Victor Martinez as the tying run. Chopped foul.
Got a break there. Tried to quick pitch. Got that real quick slide step. And Candelario was out in front a little bit. Swung out of the zone.
Two. And a wave on a 74-mile-per-hour breaking ball, one away.
You've seen the Twins with some poor swings tonight off Blaine Hardy. That was not a good swing there.
But the fastball's kind of set this up, didn't it? You throw 191 and the guy takes it, and then you come back a couple pitches later at 74. One down, and now Victor Martinez.
Big out. Big out, because now you got a guy that, if he hits it on the ground, is not going to get down the line too well. You got a good chance to turn it two with a ground ball.
Fouled away, one strike, and Duke started him with a fastball. Martinez with a ground ball to Dozier in short right field. Fly ball to Lamar in center. Then he hit a rocket caught by Morrison at first base. Down and away, 1-1. Grounder, and it finds a hole up the middle of base hit. Goodrum rounding second. He'll hold up there. And Martinez is aboard. Now Hicks comes to the plate as the tying run. Mentioned that Duke's been good for a while. He made 5 appearances during the homestand, gave up 3 hits and no runs. Each outing, 5 outings, each outing lasting 1 inning.
Yeah, Paul Mahler going to come out and make a pitching exchange with a bunch of right-handed hitters coming up next. He's going to go ahead and flip around and put Trevor Hildenberger on the mound, I think.
Well, Duke should be leaving having gotten 2 men out. As it is, there's only 1 out and runners in first and second.
with a solo shot in the second inning, then added some insurance with another solo blast in the 6th. It is his 3rd multi-home run game of this season. Believe it or not, that is a new franchise record for Yankee shortstops. They are currently still up 3-0 in the 8th over the Nationals, guys.
Seems like both of the others were against the Twins, but only one of them, I think, was. He was really swinging it when the Twins were in New York. Trevor Hildenberger will come in and try to keep this a 3-run Twins lead.
Well, Gregorius doing a heck of a job following the legend in Derek Jeter as the Yankee shortstop. How about Brandon Crawford over with the Giants this year, having a huge year.
Yeah. Here's Hicks against Hildenberger. Swing and a miss. That floater that broke outside.
A little frisbee right there.
Hildenberger's had 9 straight scoreless outings, going as long as 2 innings.
Well, he needs a couple big outs here.
Backhanded by Wilson, 1-1. Hildenberger gave up a home run back on May 18th against the Brewers at Target Field, and that was the last time he's given up a run. 1-1. Fastball missing the outside corner, and instead of it being 1-2, it's 2-1. Hildenberger and Wilson, I'll bet, thought they made the pitch. 2-1. Tapper left side. Adrianza flips on the run on target, 2 down, but now 2 men are in scoring position. And that'll bring up Jacoby Jones.
Well, you need to get an out some way, somehow, and he gets a high chopper that Adrianza comes running in and makes a good accurate throw this time over to Morrison.
Jones is 0 for 3. A foul out and 2 strikeouts. Backhanded by Wilson again, ball 1. One and 0 to Jacoby Jones. Half swing, but he went 1-1. Joey Menez warming up. He's been really good for the Tigers. 1-1. Swing and a miss, and a great stop by Wilson.
Yeah, good job right there. And that's back-to-back breaking balls off the plate away, and it doesn't look like Jacoby Jones is having a good clue at all, so you might as well go right back and throw the same pitch right there. Good job of sliding to his right and keeping that chest over the ball. If it does bounce, it's going to come up and hit him in the chest protector and stay right in front.
1-2 to Jones.
Oh,
breaking ball inside.
That one backed up. That could have really been a mistake.
Hildenberger's been around for a while. He's got about the same tenure as Jones, and we've seen from time to time, particularly with right-handed batters, Hildenberger coming in over the top with a fastball that he can elevate velocity-wise to 94.
Yeah, I remember listening to your broadcast with Bert, and you're talking about how he comes up on the top, but it's always fastballs that
right.
He needs to have confidence throwing a breaking ball from up there too.
1-2 to Jones. Dribbler left side charging. Escobar. Jones runs well, and there's another throwing error, and 2 runs will score, and the tying runs at second. Jones runs so well, the better play might have been to hang on to it, but another high throw, second error of the inning, and it's a 1-run game.
I'm not sure Eduardo Escobar got a good grip on this ball. It's going to be a bang-bang play as he's charging in on it. And you can almost see a ball squirt out of his hand. Let's take another look at it. See, he's got to run in hard, and it just sails.
They give Jones an infield hit, which I think is the right call. Second error of the inning, and now Jones, who runs wells at second, and here's Jose Iglesias. Strike at the knees. Well, the Twins, who didn't exactly blister the ball when they scored 4 runs in the top of this inning. Surely Adrianza's home run was hit well, but now the Tigers haven't hit the ball very well here in the 7th, and they've got 2 runs. Inside corner, 2 fastballs meaning business. The left side of the infield, first Adrianza and then Escobar with throwing errors to help a Tiger comeback. 0-2 to Iglesias, who has 2 hits already tonight. Got him on a breaking ball. The Tigers get 2. The inning started with the Twins down a run. It ends with the Tigers down a run. Right here, we got a tight ball game. 5-4, Twins in front. Brian Dozier will lead things off against Warren Soppold, and he takes ball 1. Dozier 0 for 3, a ground ball, a foul pop, and a strikeout. Trying to get on base here to start the 8th inning. Popped up again, this time to short center. And 1 away quickly here in the 8th inning. The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. You can make sure your favorite Twins are represented on this year's team by voting at twinsbaseball.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. Will you have other broadcasting duties during the All-Star Game again? Are you doing your thing for MLB.com?
I am. I'll be there for the whole 5 days of FanFest, and a little different thing going on with .com and the network and the changes being made there, but I've been told that I will remain busy.
1-0 to Eddie Rosario, and now 2-0. It'll be interesting. The All-Star Game in D.C., Nationals Ballpark. You'll be up in the press box area. When I left there after the exhibition game earlier this year, the broadcast position is very high, of course. Mm-hmm. And I left a note that I thought the top of the Washington Monument needs to be cleaned. So So maybe,
of course you did.
So maybe when you're there, you can check and see whether the top of the Washington Monument is
I'll give you the report.
Okay. Drive to left center field. Rosario's got a hit, and it lands in front of Jones, a one-out single here in the 8th inning.
Well, that was another well-hit ball right there.
Hit a warning track fly ball to the left field corner. And Rosario, I think more than anybody else, gets it that if he's had a couple of bad at-bats, start to the opposite field and work your way over to the pull side.
Yeah, he no question went with that pitch, ball down and away, and didn't try to pull it, went right with it. You saw the way his hands finished up towards the direction that the ball went.
Here is Escobar, grounded a single to start the 4-run inning. Strike down and away.
How about a double down the right field line?
Well, it's been a couple of at-bats since he's had a double.
You had a good call to Ryan Lamar's bunt single. How about a double down the right field line?
Doinked foul the other way. 2 strikes. Very likely Eddie Rosario will be in Washington, D.C. with you at field level.
Yeah, I hope so. He deserves it at this point anyway.
2 strikes to Escobar. Oh, head high and 1-2.
All right, at his coconut. That'll get your attention.
Now you get the double. Fouled away.
Twins have only left 1 base runner on base through 7+ innings here tonight. Detroit 10 runners left on base.
Well, there were a lot of walks.
Yes, there were.
Twins have just 5 hits, but the biggest hit, the grand slam by Adrianza.
5 walks and 1 hit batter by Twins pitching tonight.
Sharply hit, and Machado thought about going to second, took the sure out at first, and Rosario advances to second base.
I'm out here.
And it'll bring up Sano. It'll bring out the manager, Ron Gardenhire. Well, it's a different right-handed.
Well, it's just 1 base runner out there, Eddie Rosario, but a very important run, so a base hit would score him. He runs well.
Alex Wilson will come into the game. We'll see if he uses the bullpen car.
Somebody's in it.
And so we'll have a pitching change with Sano. Here he comes.
That's old school right there.
full-size car.
Sure, a lot of
But this is
ballparks
just a golf cart. This is, you know.
souped up golf cart with flames. Motor City Casino.
And Wilson, to our knowledge, is the only reliever to use the thing. And again, when Audra asked Eddie Guardado, he said his relievers, the Twins relievers, would have to fight him on the field before they would get into the bullpen cart. Here is Alex Wilson.
See if Eddie takes it back to the dugout after the Twins win tonight.
Talking with Rick Anderson as a bullpen coach, and I said, you know, the cart's actually for you to go out to the bullpen. He says, yeah, 5 minutes before the game. He says that they're instructed to wait for him to get a ride. Oh, Sano with a foul ball, but maybe his best swing in about a week. He was ready for this pitch. He just missed it.
Yeah, he had some good bat speed there.
It was obviously a full swing. One strike from Wilson to Sano. And now down and away, dug out by Hicks.
We had an old saying in our generation, probably every generation before it, 2 strikes, shorten up and go to right. Think he'll do that? I mean, all he needs is there's a lot of room out there. He doesn't need to hit a home run. He just needs to keep it going.
1-1.
Home run would be nice. That 1 run, though, is a huge run.
The reason the swing was so good was he was right on the pitch, and what we've seen is him being out in front and behind and all that, but he was right on that pitch.
So many check swings too, and you know, let it go. Pitching or hitting coaches always tell hitters, don't ever check swing, let it go.
Base hit, right field, around third, coming home Rosario, and the throw is cut off, and Sano drives in an insurance run.
That's beautiful. Just a big hit right out of the reach there of second baseman Dixon Machado.
6-4 the Twins lead. He's hit balls harder than this.
Off the end of the bat, but he stayed on the ball. You talked about that first swing. Well, he was on that pitch too. Not a check swing. We've seen so many times where that ball off the plate is a check swing, and he let the barrel go. Got a good result.
Missing low to Kepler, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Both of the strikeouts called third strikes. And a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Checked his swing and took high, 2-1. Flared foul back over the screen, and it's 2-2. Twins with as many runs as hits, 6 each, and a 2-run lead. Kepler lifts it to right field. Castellanos going back, and now it is the center fielder Martin with the catch. Couple of singles and an insurance run for the Twins. Sano driving in his 27th of the year. First three hitters are Dixon, Machado, Martin, and Castellanos. There's strike one. Hildenberger, if he's asked to get all three guys, will face those guys and the specter of the Rally Goose. They've got quite a thing going on here, similar to the Rally Monkey they started in Anaheim in 2002. I'm sure most of you have seen the video, and somebody the next day went out to get a goose decoy, and it's in its lucky spot in the on the railing of the Tiger dugout.
Well, you know that James Paxton went out and got a tattoo of an eagle on his arm and threw a no-hitter after it, all because of the eagle that landed on him at Target Field.
And they've had a lot of fun. We were out in Seattle on the last road trip, and they've really played up that whole incident. 2-2. Here, a goose during a rain delay landed on the field, and finally they got him airborne, being chased around the field, and he flew, and we all thought would have a clean getaway, and then he hit the ribbon board up to our right here, and thankfully the goose is okay. 2-2. And a ground ball foul. No, it's not the first time an animal has interfered or had an impact. And there's the goose after a Candelario walk-off home run. But right after the incident with the goose, the Tigers scored 5 runs, won a ball game. So there's a little substance to this thing. Check swing. I think he went. Yep, he did. And Dixon Machado's gone on strikes. Well, was it the Cardinals had the Rally Squirrel a few years ago, and then the Rally Monkey in Anaheim. Kansas City, we won the World Series. They had the Rally Mantis, the green insect that they played off of for a while. One down here in the 8th. Leonis Martin.
I'd just rather have Cobb, Garrick, and Ruth. Here's my Rally.
Martin bluffs the bunt, takes a ball.
Taylor Rogers up and throwing now in the Twins bullpen.
1-0 to Martin. 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and a walk. Way outside, 2-0. Hildenberger had to bear down in the 7th. And a couple of ground balls and a strikeout, but there was an error. This will be his 20th pitch.
Well, what that extra run did the top half of this inning is it allowed Trevor to be very aggressive out there. You don't want to get behind, and you certainly don't want to walk anybody in this inning. You've got to go after, make them hit their way on. If he hits a home run, you still got 1 run to work with. So go after the hitter.
Fly ball, short left field. Rosario coming in, and he makes the catch. And you talked about walks, and therein is Trevor's strength. Yeah, he's got a great opponent batting average coming into the game at .218. 32 innings, and now 33 innings. 7 walks, and 3 of those are intentional. That's outstanding.
Yeah, only 4 real walks all year for Trevor. So he's got a lot of different looks as far as his delivery. Got a good breaking ball. He can change speeds. Very deceptive for right-handers especially. But more importantly, he gets the ball across the plate.
Reverse splits, much tougher on lefties with that changeup that he throws. And right-handers are hitting sub 252. Here's a pop-up short left field. And Rosario comes in and makes that catch. And it's a quick 1-2-3-8 for Trevor Hildenberger. baseball players in the Twin Cities are national figures. That's Mounds View's Ty Kane striking out Totino Grace's Jack Koken, and I hope at least that I pronounced the names right. And they're childhood friends, and at stake not just a ball game but a berth in the state tournament. And Kane coming to home plate to hug his childhood friend and console him rather than celebrate with his teammates. And it went viral. It was a wonderful moment, and congratulations to both those men.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about, man, particularly in the amateur level. I mean, it just was a wonderful, wonderful gesture by Ty Kane, and Jack Koken, I think, has got the right attitude about it. He's saying, you know, I'm nationally known now because I struck out, but I mean, to have a friend who would do that under those circumstances was just awesome.
It was pretty cool.
1-1, and Bobby Wilson's first plate appearance. It's 2-1.
You know, between Blyland and I, there's 5,000 guys we could go hug.
And of course, when I saw you here today, I thought, I don't remember you hugging Ron Gant, Game 7 of the World Series.
Well, I should have. That was a big out. No, I give the kids a lot of credit. That's the epitome of sportsmanship.
If you aren't affected positively by that and what we just showed you, then you probably ought not to follow sports, because at any level, that's what you strive for, that type of sportsmanship. All right, so it's Alex Wilson trying to retire Bobby Wilson. Outside 3-2. Again, with the roster moves today, the Twins designating Gregorio Petit for assignment and acquiring Matt Belisle. There are just 3 bench players tonight. They were Wilson, Cave, and Robbie Grossman, who remains available. This one punched to right, and it'll carry to Castellanos, 1 away.
Well, I got to believe Fernando Rodney is probably getting loose in the Twins bullpen. He'll get the 9th inning and a chance for a save.
Logan Morrison 0 for 2 with a walk, but it was a big walk. It came right in front of Adrianza's grand slam. 20,340 the paid attendance here at Comerica.
Yeah, that was a real good at bat for Morrison. He had a couple pitches that were going to be tempting to try to chase, but he had the patience to lay off balls that were just outside off the plate, and he ends up getting on base for that big home run by Adrianza.
Twins got a run in the 3rd, and all they really did was get an infield hit from Adrianza and worked him around the bases. Then in the 7th, they got 4 runs. It was a ground ball single that had eyes to start the inning, 2 walks, and then Adrianza's blast just over the wall in right center. One and one to Morrison. Outside, and it's 2-1. It's the Twins' first trip here to Detroit. They come again the 2nd weekend in August. That's when Mr. Morris will have his number 47 retired here. And then they come back on the last road trip in the middle of September. Strike on the outside corner. And of course, the hope is that that last series here in Detroit will be meaningful. And then the series the next week, when the Tigers come to Target Field, will be meaningful.
A lot of baseball left. You can't give up hope. The Twins certainly could be playing better, but they win this one and have a two-game win streak, and you never know. You're playing in your own division against the Tigers, then Cleveland. Just can't give up hope.
100 games left when the Twins hope to get Fernando Rodney plenty of save opportunities.
Oh, he's been a lot better lately.
Been really, really good since New York. 2-2. Slashed foul.
You know, you talk about New York. Gary Sanchez hit the walk-off home run off of him in Yankee Stadium in that game, and it was a great pitch. It was a pitcher's pitch, and he was looking for it, and he pulled it down the left field line. And that's one of the kind of things that you just got to say. And I remember, you know, Raleigh Fingers, who I still consider maybe the best reliever that I've ever seen. You know, his attitude was outhouse or castle, right?
Right.
And that's kind of the attitude you have to have. I'm either going to be a hero or a goat, but I'm going after you. And Rodney's been really good ever since.
It's interesting. I've never heard anybody describe that as a pitcher's pitch, the one that Sanchez hit out. It was about 8 inches in off the plate.
Yeah. I mean, that's where he wanted to throw it. He wanted to set him up by coming in hard.
Another foul off the bat of Morrison. Well, as the Twins enter now the final 100 games of the season, it would be nice if they could have more walk-offs than walk-offs allowed. It was in the first 62 games, 8 walk-off losses, 3 walk-off wins, and one of the walk-off wins was in Puerto Rico. So does that count?
Sure, it counts.
Okay.
It's a regular season game.
Up high 3-2.
Hey, you're going to win some ugly. You're going to win some well played. A win's a win. You know, when it's all said and done, you play 162 games. You don't really reflect back on how it happened. You just care that did.
Full count to Morrison. And a drive to center. It's hit a long way. Martin is back and about 40 feet in front of the wall. He makes the catch.
We've got a slight breeze coming straight in from center field here tonight. That's a long way. 420 here at Comerica Park. Balls that are hit high just haven't really carried.
Tonight's Sanford Health Injury Report. So many great players are hurt right now, and now Bryce Harper left the ball game after being hit by a pitch. He got hit in the right elbow in the 5th inning, the left foot in the 8th. So Nationals leading the division, actually tied for the lead with Atlanta. Had to finish the game without Harper tonight. Adrianza with an infield hit, stolen base, a run scored in the 3rd, and then one of the biggest home runs of the year, a grand slam, his 3rd of the year. 1-0. And now a strike. And before the home run, we mentioned that while his batting average is much better from the other side of the plate, he's been more productive from this side of the plate in terms of slugging percentage. All 3 of his home runs, of course, he faces more right-handers than left-handers. But now in 95 at bats against right-handers, he has 5 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, and a dozen runs batted in. It's just the average is a couple points over 200. 2-1. And another base hit, his 3rd of the night. Comes with 2 outs in the ninth.
Pretty good evening for Aire.
Now we'll see if they ask him to try to steal second.
So the swing again, kind of an inside-out swing on a ball that's down. And he shoots it between the hole there, short and 3rd.
Lamar, the batter, a sacrifice fly, a bunt single, and a ground out. And we're leading by 2 runs. Really very little to lose here with Adrianza at first. See if he takes off here. Not on the first pitch, and Lamar takes ball 1. There's a strike on the outside corner. In the 7th inning in Chicago, and the White Sox lead the Indians 5-1.
There was talk early in the year, and I think Alex Wilson actually got a few starts. He wanted to have a crack at the starting rotation. And Gardy wasn't opposed to it, but here he is in the bullpen again, late in the game.
Well, I think if anything, the Tigers have pitched better than most people thought. You've got the 3 teams in the top 3 spots in the division: Cleveland, Minnesota, and Detroit. And they're 8th, 9th, and 10th in team ERA. I don't know that many people thought the Tigers would be pitching up there with the Indians, and essentially they are.
Well, I can tell you that that's not deep postseason type of baseball yet, and the Indians, much better staff than what we've seen, especially their bullpen. They need to get Andrew Miller back and healthy.
1-2 to Lamar, and Adrianza. I'm surprised we're 4 pitches into this at bat, and Adrianza hasn't budged from first base.
Make an attempt anyway. No, maybe it's that just extra second that a pitcher, like we saw with Ryan Presley tonight, was really paying attention. He got a good jump. Iglesias did.
At the end of the bat, foul. Adrianza with 2 steals in his 2 tries. The Twins are 21 out of 30 in stolen bases. Swing and a miss. Lamar strikes out, and Adrianza's left at first rather than second. It'll be a 2-run lead for Fernando Rodney when we come back. He decided to take the bullpen card most of the way to the mound.
So much for Guardado and his I'm going to whoop your buns.
Rodney is the only pitcher who's actually older than Eddie Guardado, I think. So this is
flipping the coin anyway.
And Rodney, who knows, he may have ridden in a bullpen card early in his career. He's been at this for a while.
Yes, he has.
He'll come in with a 2-run lead, and again, sadly for the Tigers, it won't be Miguel Cabrera leading off the 9th inning. It'll be Nico Goodrum, and then scheduled Jeimer Candelaria and Victor Martinez, the 3, 4, and 5 batters. And Goodrum has reached both times he's at an official plate appearance. He finished off Cabrera's strikeout coming into the game with 2 strikes and struck out on the next pitch. Then he doubled in the 5th and reached on an Adrianza throwing error and scored in the 7th. Down and away, ball 1. And a strike. Really good outing for Trevor Hildenberger. An inning and 2/3, and the only hit he gave up was an infield hit with the air tagged onto the end of it.
Right. No, he did a wonderful job tonight. And
swing and a miss on the changeup.
Turns it over to Rodney, who gets quickly ahead and needs that first out. Changeup. That's his go-to strikeout pitch.
And he missed inside.
Bert was talking about it though, and I couldn't agree more. You know, changeups is only good as your heater, and Rodney still throws in the mid-90s, so that's what sets up that arm speed and makes that changeup so much more effective.
Just missed up and away with another changeup. And Radney might have thought he had strike 3 taken there, and he did. Full count to the leadoff man in the 9th. Got him.
Well, he got one taken away, and then Goodrum helped him out with that one right there.
It was an off-speed pitch, but it almost looked like a breaking ball.
Oh, he's got such great sync with that changeup sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, for years I thought he was throwing a forkball. I went to spring training to help him learn the forkball, and then I found out, no, these are all changeups. And it's because of the great arm speed and movement.
One down, and now Candelario.
Important first out of the inning, though.
Up and away, ball 1, a fastball. Check out what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Your link to what's next. Twins will face another left-hander, Matthew Boyd, tomorrow. Jose Barrios will go for the Twins.
Yeah, didn't Boyd come out of the game against the Twins at Target Field with an oblique strain or something like that?
Double check on that. 2-0 to Candelario. Base runner will bring the tying run to the plate. And the on-deck hitter is Victor Martinez. There's a strike, 2-1. Only because we mentioned the awful finish to the game in New York. The guy hasn't given up a run. Well, he gave up 2 runs against the Angels, but still got the save. There's a strike, 2-2.
And 2 fastballs right there. One on the inside corner, knee high. One on the outside corner, knee high.
Actually, that's not correct. He did not get the save on his June 10th game. And a called 3rd strike, and a couple of strikeouts start the 9th inning.
Well, he gets him with a changeup that's really kind of a mistake changeup. It stays up and away, but you see Candelario just kind of froze. He's looking for that fastball again.
Martinez will bat. In that game, it was not a save situation. Rodney gave up a couple of runs. Twins had a 4-run lead and finished winning by 2. Martinez with a single and a run scored, and he takes strike 1. Just off the plate, 1-1. And over the inside corner, 1-2, and Rodney's 1 strike away from pinning it down.
Yeah, this, if he gets Martinez with a strikeout, would be the 11th strikeout for Twins pitchers tonight. Rodney getting the first 2 guys he faced on strikeouts.
Martinez trying to keep the game alive for John Hicks. Fly ball center field, and Lamar camps under it. And a nice come from behind win for the Twins, putting together a 4-run 7th inning. And Fernando Rodney gets the save.
Timely hitting. Big hit there by Adrianza, of course, and a great job by Rodney getting the side in order in the 9th to pick up a save.
And so the Twins start this road trip with a victory. And Tom Hanneman, for what it's worth, and it's not worth much, it's